public access for the protection of the health, safety, and welfare of the public due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. So with that being said, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell.
Here.
Mark Blevins.
Here.
Robert Acuff.
Here.
Nancy Brown. Mike Hill.
Here.
Nancy Brown. Julie Gwynn.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Here.
Mark Tester.
Here.
Charles Von Cannon.
Present.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Here.
Jerry Prophet.
Here.
Austin James. Austin James. Ross Garland.
Here.
Layla Ward.
Present.
Ginger Holdren.
Here.
Randall Jenkins.
Here.
Gary Bailey.
Here.
Travis Hill.
Here.
Sonja Culler.
Present.
Daniel McInturf.
Here.
Aaron Frazier.
Here.
Robin McCamey.
Here.
Kelly Collins.
Here.
Thomas Prophet.
Here.
Austin James.
Madam Clerk, I think Austin said he may not make it tonight.
Okay. One present.
Nancy was on there
I'm
for a
here.
second. Oh,
I'm
there she is.
here.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda
Chairman?
is approval of the agenda.
Mr.
Do we have any
Chairman,
additions or deletions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Mr. Bailey.
is there any way that I could address the commission before committee reports for about 5 minutes?
Yes, I don't think that'll be a problem unless anybody has an objection to that. We'll pencil in Commissioner Bailey after the mayoral report, if that's okay with everybody. Nobody has anything else, I'll accept the motion for the amended agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda, Mark Blevins, First District.
Second, Aaron
Nancy
Frazier.
Brown.
Motion by Mr. Blevins, second by Ms. Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Yes.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
Yes.
Julie Gwynn.
Yes.
Bradley Johnson.
Yes.
Mark Tester.
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Yes.
Jerry Prophet.
Yes.
Austin James. Ross Garland.
Yes.
Layla Ward.
Yes.
Ginger Holdren.
Yes.
Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Yes.
Sonja Culler.
Yes.
Daniel McInturf.
Yes.
Aaron Frazier.
Yes.
Robin McCamey.
Yes.
Kelly Collins.
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Thank you. Before we move into opening prayer, I just need to make a quick announcement to let anybody know who may be here for a public hearing for a rezoning request. That has been moved to May. I believe we failed to publicize that for the public hearing. So that will be in May of 2021. So now we'll move on to the opening prayer with Commissioner Willie Campbell, and then that'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Kelly Collins.
Heavenly Father, God, Lord, us bow our heads today, Lord, and giving you honor and thanks for this day that you've given us, Lord. God, we just thank you today, Lord, that we had the privilege, Lord, to bow our heads and call upon the precious Savior. Lord, tonight we do pray, Lord, for each thing that's said and done, Lord, that we do it in your will. God, we do pray for each commissioner, Lord, that sits on these boards. God, that you just bless them. Lord, tonight we pray for those that are on the front line of this COVID-19, Lord, and the ones that have lost family members. God, we pray, Lord, God, that you comfort their hearts, Lord. You said if they call upon you, God, you comfort that heart. Lord, we know that there's trouble on every hand this day, Lord, and all of our world. God, we just pray today, Lord, that you have your hands upon each one, have your anointing upon them. God, we could never give you enough praise and honor, Lord, for the prayers that you've answered, the miracles that you've worked in each one of our lives. Lord, we're here tonight, Lord, just to give you honor and praise and glory for it all. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it
which
stands,
stands
one nation,
under
under God,
God,
indivisible, with
with
liberty and justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Amen.
Next on the agenda, the acceptance of meeting minutes from the March meeting. Motion to approve.
I'll make that motion. Randall Jenkins, 6.
I'll second that. Isaiah Groundstaff.
Okay, motion by Mr. Jenkins, second by Mr. Grindstaff. Any additions or deletions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert A. Cup,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
yes,
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
yes,
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James, Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
yes,
Ginger Holdren,
yes,
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonia Culler,
abstain,
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
Sonia, how did you vote?
I abstained, I was absent,
Okay. Okay, all ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of notaries and bonds.
Ashley Woods, Melissa Joyner, Lois Carty, Stephen J. Head, Lori L. Hilbert, L. Krista Brown, Tina Bowers, Tammy D. Smith, Beverly A. Sansom, Kathy Bales, Edgar L. Presnell, and add this one to your list is Sharon W. Phillips.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Mr. Frazier, second by Mr. Blevins. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert A. Cuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
yes,
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
yes,
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Gary Prophet, Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
yes,
Ginger Holdren,
yes,
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonia Culler,
yes,
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you. Next on the agenda, I will recognize Commissioner Garland to introduce our next guest. He wants to take control here.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Hill. Just want to welcome this group. We've been waiting on them for a while. We
Blevins.
actually got
Frazier.
Miss Joy McCray, our new director, on. I think June that's when that was, and so she's been with us for a while. Been doing a fantastic job. I think Mr. LeVeau's here, David LeVeau, also from Security Federal. He's our chairman, and Luke's going to present also. But happy to have them. They've been working hard, and they can tell us all about it. But we're proud of all the work they've been doing. So I'll turn it over to Miss Joy. I know she's here, or David, whoever wants to start us out.
Hey, thanks so much. I'm actually going to let Luke kick it off, and so he can tell you all about what's going on with tourism. Luke, go ahead. You have a screen to share.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll share my screen here. Hopefully this works.
Another quarter in. Terrorism.
Yeah, my name is Luke Freeman. I am the Director of Tourism at the Chamber of Commerce. I appreciate y'all letting us join you today, but just wanted to kind of share with you some of the things that we've been up to the past year or so and just kind of give you an update. So for starters, this is kind of our snapshot of tourism and the economic impact from tourism in 2019. I know that's a little dated at this point, but that's what we have the most recent numbers on. We usually get those in the fall. But we saw we were 40th out of the 95 counties in Tennessee based off economic impact, generated $42.17 million in direct tourism expenditures. That creates 218 jobs, produces $6.59 million in payroll, $2.6 million in local tax revenue, $2.59 million in state tax revenue. And then just as a result of that, every household in Carter County is able to pay $200 less out of pocket than they would otherwise if we didn't have that money supplementing our income. So that's great. As I think maybe Ross mentioned, we moved our offices for the Chamber and our visitor center downtown this past year in October. We're now at 615 East Elk Avenue right there in downtown. We're excited to be there, be part of downtown where visitors can find us real easily as they're walking around and down. And so if you haven't been by there yet, definitely come stop in and see us. Really excited to be here. 2020 was a really crazy year, I know, for everybody, but particularly for tourism. Just like everybody else, we saw a big dip in the spring as everyone just kind of shut everything down, and we closed our visitor center for a couple of months out of the abundance of caution and just trying to keep everybody safe. But then since kind of spring, summer time, we've seen an increase in tourism as people have realized that Carter County is a place you can come, you can be outdoors, you can travel safely. And so that's been really good. I'll talk a little more about that. But one of the things that we had to kind of help us through that dip and to help us recover from that is we received a grant of about $31,000 from it's federal money, but through the state, provided us through the CARES Act to kind of help with that recovery. And we used that to do a marketing campaign to market Carter County as a safe place that people could come and encourage them to travel to visit Carter County safely. We did a banner ads display ad campaign that got over 2 million impressions. We did some print ads in Good Housekeeping magazine, Woman's Day magazine, Travel Taste and Tour. So I think this is one of the ads from Travel Taste and Tour that had a write-up as well with it. We did some Facebook advertising and just several different things like that we were able to spend that money on. That money had to be spent before the end of the year, and so we kind of rushed that and did that real quick, but it turned out really well. I think it got a lot of eyeballs on Carter County, a really good increase over the winter compared to past years, and I think that's probably in large part due to that. We also received a grant for this year from the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development, which was a matching grant for marketing purposes that we're also using to do some Facebook marketing and search engine campaigns as well to kind of keep promoting to people who are searching for things related to visiting the mountains or lakes or things like that. Some of the other projects we've participated in, that was another one of the ads we did, was the Walnut Mountain Trailhead. That was a project of the Backcountry Horsemen. They did this up near Roan Mountain. They had a lot of volunteer labor and did a lot of the work themselves, but money to buy gravel and bring in heavy equipment to put that in. But that's going to be a really great place for people to come park to ride horses there on our mountain trails, ride mountain bikes, hike. It's just another great infrastructure that we can add to give people more of an ability to get out and enjoy those spaces and hopefully spread out even more and not everybody go to Carver's Gap or something like that, but have some different places to go. We also recently, just this past week, agreed to help Go Betsy with their project to build a boat ramp they're at Highway 400 Lovers Lane. Again, we think that's going to be a really great project for tourism, just help people get on the river, help keep things safe, spread people out. We think that'll be a good thing. We're continuing to distribute our brochures. We send those throughout the Knoxville metro area, the Tri-Cities area, the North Carolina High Country area, as well as the 5 closest Tennessee Welcome Centers. And our brochure actually won an award. It was the regional award winner in the 2020 International Best Brochure Awards from the International Association of Visitor Information Providers. So that was really cool. We were excited about that. We just learned about that a week or two ago as well. And talking about some of those different digital marketing campaigns we've been doing. We've been doing these. This is an example of one of our Facebook ads. Those have reached over 1.1 million people and got about 45,000 clicks through Facebook, and people who click on that, who are interested in learning more, who want to come visit. And then our search engine marketing, that's got over 187,000 impressions and a click-through rate of over 5%. And that's just like when you go to Google or whatever search engine and you type in, you know, cabins in the mountain, and then you see those sponsored ads showing up at the top. So we're showing up in those listings we're doing that in the Atlanta and Nashville markets to encourage people from some of those kind of drivable distances to come in and visit. And when they're searching for those kind of things, that, you know, we can tell them we've got that here, come visit us. A couple of events we were able to do this past year. We hosted the Rain Grown, as we do every year, bike race from Elizabethton to the top of Roan Mountain. And this year we were able to bring over the Criterium portion of that to Johnson City Omnium as well. And we're going to be able to do it in Johnson City. We said we can host that here in Carter County. And so we had that in September. It was a great event. And everybody loved it so much that we're bringing it back this year. And we're going to, I know you've already heard about that, and you all donated some of the money for that, which we certainly appreciate, to make it the Carter County Omnium this year. And we're very excited about that. That'll be the first weekend in June. I think it's the 5th and 6th that we'll have those racers. They come in from all over the country, all over the world even. And we're excited about having that. We're going to do the packet pickup at our offices that Friday night, kind of in conjunction with the Main Street's First Friday event. And so that'll be a really good thing. You may have also heard we're bringing a half marathon in. On May 8th, Music and Miles Half Marathon by the Goose Chase. They do a lot of the local races and stuff like that. That, of course, brings people from all over the region to come and participate in that. We're excited about that. If you want to run or walk, sign up for it. It'll be a lot of fun. And again, we're doing the packet pickup at our offices and going to bring people downtown on Friday.
We lost you, Luke.
Okay. Am I back yet?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. I don't know where you lost me, but I was just talking about the Music and Miles Half Marathon.
That was pretty much where we lost you as soon as you mentioned the Goose Chase.
Okay. Yeah, that's another one we're going to kind of do on Friday night, have packet pickup and do some of the, just kind of encourage people to come participate in the first Friday event and then come back on Saturday. And of course, those people will spend money, go eat at a restaurant, spend time in our beautiful town, and we're excited about that.
We lost you again.
Have you developed data on where these people are staying? Are they staying in bed and breakfast, or are they staying in are they camping, or they're obviously not staying in the motel?
Well, we do get some of that information. We see that some people do stay in the motels. There's, of course, a lot of Airbnbs, cabins. We've got places like Bee Cliff that has, I think, 13 or 14 different cabins, lots of great places to stay. Places like Boots Off that have hostels and camping, the Watauga Dam campground. So, you know, it's all pretty spread out here in Carter County, but we do have some places for people to stay, and we do see a lot of times folks will stay with us. Saw somebody, I think, the other day that came in and said they'd just driven into town and were staying at Camp Stonefly up on the Watauga River. So that's there are spots for people, and they find places, but we certainly are in need of more lodging, hotels, and that kind of thing in Carter County. But this is another event, the Acoustic Mountain Jam at Boots Off Hostel, and they're hosting that kind of for the through hikers coming through town, as well as anybody locally who wants to attend and hear some music. And so that's another event that we're sponsoring. And we're continuing to partner with people like the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association. I'm on that board. We work to promote the whole region, including all of us here in Northeast Tennessee. We're also still part of Retire Tennessee program, which encourages people to retire here. We see people all the time coming into our offices, been from up north or out west or Florida or wherever, that they're just looking for somewhere that's affordable, where they can have a great cost of living and just a beautiful area, lots of things to do, whether they like fishing, hiking, that kind of thing. So we see a lot of people coming in for that sort of stuff as well. But as I mentioned at the top, we've been seeing a great increase in tourism this past year or so, since kind of we started the recovery from the pandemic. People are realizing what a great area this is. We're encouraging them to come, be safe, but come travel, come visit us. And we're seeing a whole lot of people, and that's been really good. I think that some of those grants and stuff we've had that have been able to help us out, and we're continuing to try and support tourism in whatever ways we can. But we certainly appreciate y'all's support. I'll say you've got my contact information there. Feel free to come by our office. I'm normally there during the week, or give me a call, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And now I'll turn it over to Joy, and I think she'll take it from here.
Oh, thanks. Let me see if I can share my screen. While I'm doing that, I know David Laveau is on here, and he would like to say hello and say a thank you to all of you. Abby, can you help me share my screen? Oh, I got it.
Yes, hello everyone. This is David Laveau. I wanted to thank everybody for your support of our tourism group and Chamber of Commerce. I wanted to thank Mayor Woodby for her support on some of the programs we're doing, and of course, Ross being part of our board. We thank you also, as the commission has helped us with bringing that bike race and providing some funds to help assure that stays here in Carter County. And hopefully you were able to see with Luke's presentation all the neat things that we are advertising and bringing into this county. We're really excited. The outdoors and the natural beauty of Carter County has really been an attraction in itself. And we've been able to get the word out that it is safe space here, and so many people are looking for the outdoors rather than the metropolitan cities and large arenas, especially this past year. And we've really experienced that, and businesses in town have experienced that as well. So thank you everybody for your partnership and support, and look forward to doing more with you in the future.
Thanks, David. Hey, so I'm just going to echo a few things that Luke has said, but I wanted to give you an update on what Chamber's been doing. You know, we're all in the same office, but we have found ways that we can partner together and work more efficiently for our community. Luke totally stole my picture, and I'm so mad because I was going to show you a picture of the outside of our building, but I'll show you the cool outside of our building. If you haven't seen it, we have a webcam. So if you are out of town or you just want to know, one of our board members tells me that he looks at this all the time. It's Kevin Peters, all the time. If you want to know what the weather is, you can watch our webcam. It's on our website. You can also see it on WJHL, WCYB. They feature it all the time on the news, on the weather cam. And then we just got featured on the Weather Channel, which we think is super exciting. This is a still feed from it though, but if you ever want to know what's happening on Elk Avenue, please feel free to use our webcam and check it out for yourself. So you've seen the outside of our beautiful building. You know, it's on top of our beautiful building. These are some of the things that you can see that are happening inside of our beautiful building. I just want to talk to you about some of the things that we've been able to offer for our members. We have revamped all the programs that we offer for our membership. One of the things that we do is we've offered connection days for our members who, we saw something with COVID that we've probably never seen before, that a lot of our members just piecemealed together what they could, and they found themselves not really sure how to do e-commerce. Nobody knew how to do Zoom in 2019 as well as we do now. And that's true for a lot of our members, especially when their whole mission and their whole business is buy and sell goods, whether it was a restaurant or a merchandise store or retail or insurance or even with real estate. Being able to be efficient on Zoom and be efficient in the things that they were doing every day in this COVID world was something we needed to be part of. So we opened a thing called Connection Days. You can see a picture of Seth taking a picture of Tracy, and gave a chance for our members to just come in and get their things put back together. We saw a lot of folks that couldn't figure out how to make one thing link to another, whether it was a PayPal to their e-commerce page, or their social media to their website, or the Google Maps to something else. So they came in, spent some time with us. We got it all cleaned up and sent them back to do great work. We've been able to host several meetings in our building, just local civic groups. We had the Rotary Club in recently. It was great to have them in for lunch. You see a bunch of angry teenagers down at the bottom. That was our Chamber Youth Ambassador group. Mayor Woodby had the opportunity to come speak to them. Last semester she spoke to them on Zoom, but this semester she spoke to them live. We have a member who teaches dog class, so she's hosting her dog classes. You can see that little dog right there that graduated. And then we've been able to do some things with downtown as well with Main Street, whether it be Small Business Saturday, and we did gift wrap from one of our nonprofit members. We've participated in pretty much all the events that have happened downtown, and we continue to do that as they come available. Forward. Oh, there we go. So one of the programs that we have that I talked about before was our Chamber Youth Ambassador program. Mayor Woodby, thank you again for coming over and speaking to my young ladies this time. Y'all, last semester I had 25 students from all 5 high schools, so all 4 counties and the city high school and some homeschool kids. This semester I have all young ladies, and it's just as exhausting. It's all girls. It's so much fun. It's great to really give them an opportunity to learn about why Carter County is a great place to live, work, and play. We have 4 different days, and we do it each semester. We have Tourism Day, Industry Day, Healthcare Day, and Community Day, that they get to find out what makes Carter County so great, who are the people that are making it work, and they kind of get a better idea of what careers may be available here in Carter County. And if anything, have a healthy respect for some of the careers that may not be for them, but they may have to encounter one day. So that's one of the things that we've looked forward to. We'll continue with that. It's been really successful, and we're glad that we brought it back. We've had great response from all of our city schools and all of our county schools that we're going to offer another program this summer. Boss Lady is new. We started a women's networking group. It's for any women, any age, any level. Any level that they're at in their career, and we meet monthly. We just had our Enneagram workshop. We had 54 ladies that came and learned all about how to communicate with others and how to communicate better within their workplace. If you want to see some things get done, go to a group of women and give them a problem and just step back, and I bet you we'll solve it. So that's been great to see women from all different walks of life and all different areas really get together and find a way to make our region great and talk about what makes our region great. So we've really loved having Boss Lady. Milligan College, that's our next event, we're back to Chamber Breakfast. So we host our first virtual hybrid breakfast last month. We hosted at our building. We had Elizabeth and Art Alliance that was in our building that hosted Chamber. We keep the numbers small. We're a small chamber anyway, but we also offer a virtual option. We'll probably do virtual forever, not just because of COVID, but because some of you live in Roan Mountain and it snows a lot here in February. So what a great opportunity when it's snowing, or you're trying to get from one place to another, or if you're like me and you got 3 kids and somebody has broken their retainer and you got to go deal with it at 8 o'clock in the morning, you can still have an opportunity to Zoom in and be present and still have a great way to connect. This is our annual joint breakfast. We're partnering with the Johnson City Chamber. We'll be at Milligan College. It's one of the biggest breakfasts that we have this year, and it will be in person, but again, we will offer that Zoom. It's a great opportunity for our members to meet some folks that they might not meet otherwise, to do business and to do networking and to learn more about what's going on at Milligan University.
Get on my email.
So upcoming events, Derby by the Doe is May the 1st. That's a fundraising event that we're doing. All the proceeds go towards a lot of our programs that we offer each year. Adult leadership class starts on Thursday. I know Mayor Woodby will be speaking to my folks then. Level Up is coming up. That's for our brand new baby entrepreneurs that really just need to know the ins and outs of how to do business and stay afloat. Our next level business class is for our folks that have been in business for a few years, and they're do they do policy? Do they hire? Do they need HR? Things like that. Carter County 101 is specifically for our folks that are new. Like Luke said, we've seen people move here from all over the United States and the world. They all don't know the secret menu at Pal's. They don't know how to get to anywhere in town. They don't know the shortcuts. They don't know what day trash day is. They don't know, they don't know the things that we as locals know. So it's basically how to live like a local in Carter County, to kind of give out that information. Like I said, our Chamber Youth Ambassador program, it's gone so well. We're going to offer a summer session. That one will just be June 28th, 29th, and 30th for our students. We had a lot of student athletes that wanted to participate, but they could not miss one more day of school. So we're offering it specifically at that time when it's TSSAA blackout that they can come. I know all of you look at the thing straight at the bottom. Yes, legislative breakfast. It's May 14th from 9 to 10:30 a.m. at TCAT. Governor Lee will be present and will be speaking. Tickets go on sale in the morning. I know that John Thompson and the Star are on this call. I will be sending you a press release in just a minute. But we're excited to have that come up this year. Last year, our legislative breakfast got pushed and pushed and pushed, and we ended up having it in September. So if you are coming and you know that you're coming and you want a ticket, let me know so I can mark it before they all get sold. Do you all have any questions for me that I could possibly answer about Chamber or anything that's been going on with us? You can always reach me at Chamber. I'm usually there. Sometimes I'm out running around. You can always email me at Chamber or call me directly.
Joy, this is Mayor Whitby.
Hello.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you to you and David and your team for a wonderful job that you're doing for not just promoting Carter County and tourism regionally and locally, but for the programs that you're offering from our youth to our businesses to our business leaders all throughout. That's just a plethora of things to get involved in, and I'm very excited to see how active the Chamber is. I think that's great news, and especially during a pandemic. So I just want to say kudos to you guys and thank you for all your hard work. It's truly appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you coming over. Mayor Woodby is a brave lady to walk in that room with those girls and tell them the truth. I have seen many flustered, but we appreciate you guys. And we really appreciate you believing in us and giving us the opportunity to bring some of these big events that Luke talked about and reinvest back into our community. No other questions, we will leave. We will see ourselves out.
Anybody have any questions for Joey or Luke or David?
I think I've got one. Luke, Joy, I noticed the click-through rates that you were having on a lot of your ads. Have you been able to get those to continue to trend upwards? Are they staying about static or?
Luke, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, we've been seeing those go up. It's this is something we just kind of started, I guess, about a year ago, and so there was kind of an introductory period where we were figuring out what worked and what didn't work, but then we've seen really good rates since then.
Yeah, the Google ad rate click-through rate is that's really good. The Facebook one's a little bit low, I think, but the other one was great.
Yeah, and we just started the Facebook, I want to say, in August, so it hasn't had quite as much time as the other to get optimized and still kind of dialing that in. But yeah, those are going really well.
Awesome, you guys are doing great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else? All right, well, guys, we appreciate y'all coming on board and keeping us updated, and thanks for the fantastic job y'all doing.
Bye.
Thank you all. Next, we'll move on to item 9, which is resolution, and we'll turn it over to Attorney Harden if he wants to read that resolution or a caption of it or whatever he wants to do.
Yes, sir. I'm going to keep my video off, so hopefully the internet will keep working. But this is simply a resolution authorizing the county mayor to make and sign an application for grant funds from Tennessee Housing Development Agency for the home rehabilitation grant This is another round, which we've gotten several times before. I believe this time it's $450,000 total. This is for rehabbing low-income housing, and there's no county match required.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Frazier, second by Mr. Blevins. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell. Mark Blevins. Robert Acuff.
Yes.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
Yes.
Julie Gwynn.
Yes.
Bradley Johnson.
Yes.
Mark Tester.
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Yes.
Jerry Prophet.
Yes.
Austin James. Ross Garland.
Yes.
Layla Ward.
Yes.
Ginger Holdren.
Yes.
Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Yes.
Sonja Culler.
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre.
Yes.
Aaron Frazier.
Yes.
Robin McCamey.
Yes.
Kelly Collins.
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt right there, Chairman Hill, but I know the date on that says April 12th and also adopted April 12th. Is that okay? I'm sure Josh can make that change, but.
Yeah, I made that change on the original. I caught that after I sent it out for the packets, but it's fixed on the original.
Okay, just wanted to check. Thank you.
Thank you. Josh, are you going to cover the forensics agreement, or is that going to be Mayor Woodby?
It doesn't matter. I'm happy to mention what I know about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the obviously simply amending the term and the rate slightly for the forensic agreement with ETSU for autopsies. Essentially, as you all know, in years past, this is sort of about our only option. This is an agreement that ETSU has with many other counties in our region, and it does include an incremental increase in the cost for medical examiner. It's a slight increase, but it is an increase every year. And this agreement amends the current term and extends it for another 2 years.
Mayor Woodby, you want to say anything, or?
No, that's correct. All that Josh said, that was the agreement that was sent to me. I forwarded on to him.
Well, I'll entertain a motion to accept it if anybody wants to do that.
I'll accept the resolution or the amendment to the agreement.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Jenkins. Any discussion?
Was there any, was there any compensation? For example, we had 156 COVID deaths in Carter County so far. How did that didn't have to be run through a medical examiner, did it? If it did, we're broke.
To my knowledge, Mr. Von Cannon, it did not. I think these are suspicious or drug-related unaccompanied deaths is generally when an autopsy is called for. So I don't believe that simply a COVID death would have resulted in an autopsy, but I may be wrong on that. But in any event, it did not change the contractual rate that we pay.
I'll ask the same question I asked last year. Who makes a determination that an autopsy needs to be performed?
Well, Mr. Von Cannon, I believe it can be the medical examiner. It used to be a call that could be made solely by the law enforcement agency, the sheriff. But I believe when that law changed a few years back, it's now can be requested by the sheriff, I believe. But I think the medical examiner is able to make that call on their own as well now.
Any further discussion?
That's legislation from the state level that it changed several years ago, and there was some pushback from local sheriffs, including ours, on some of that legislation. But as it stands, it's still intact now. And I think it's a total of 8 counties that signed this same agreement with ETSU, and of course the bargaining power there for the terms of the agreement is as a collective unit amongst those 8 counties, and one county alone it's kind of hard to negotiate much.
Do we have any information on how many autopsies we've had done?
I have not received that in quite some time. I know we used to get it at least quarterly, but I haven't seen it lately.
Mayor, have you seen anything?
No, I have not.
Josh, can we amend this agreement on our behalf to have them responsible for issuing quarterly reports?
Frankly, I believe that's still part of the original contract. I don't know where the ball got dropped on that. I know we used to get them and they were included in the packets at least quarterly, I believe. And I think that's just a matter of reaching back out to them. I don't know where that contact was lost, but I believe it still is part of the original agreement that's just being extended.
Josh, I can reach out to them.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell. Mark Blevins. Robert Acuff.
Abstain for cause.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
Yes.
Julie Gwynn.
Yes.
Bradley Johnson.
Yeah.
Mark Tester.
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon.
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Yes.
Jerry Prophet.
Yes.
Austin James. Ross Garland.
Yes.
Layla Ward.
Yes.
Ginger Holdren.
Yes.
Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Bailey.
Yeah.
Travis Hill.
Yes.
Sandra Culler.
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre.
Yes.
Aaron Frazier.
Yes.
Robin McCamey.
Yes.
Kelly Collins.
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the mayoral report with Mayor Patty Woodby. Mayor, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Hill. Just got a couple of things. I need, as we know, Gary Smith retired, and so I need to appoint Billy Harrell to the 911 board. So I need to go ahead and make that an appointment to get him on that board. And I don't think we have to vote on that. I can't remember. I don't think so. Is that correct, Josh?
I don't think so.
I don't think we do. I just couldn't remember. I hadn't done one in a while.
I can't remember either, but it wouldn't hurt just to confirm it with a vote.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Motion by Gary Bailey, second by Ross Garland to appoint Billy Harrell to the 911 board. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Yes.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
Yes.
Julie Gwynn.
Yes.
Bradley Johnson.
Yeah.
Mark Tester.
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Yes.
Jerry Prophet.
Yes.
Austin James. Ross Garland.
Yes.
Layla Ward.
Yes.
Ginger Holdren.
Yes.
Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Yes.
Sandra Culler.
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre.
Yes.
Aaron Frazier.
Yes.
Robin McCamey.
Yes.
Kelly Collins.
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you. The next thing I'll update the commission on is the single point of entry that began last week. It's going very well. Not had a lot of complaints, not really had a lot of upset people. It's just something they're going to have to get used to. First week, security did confiscate, I think, 6 guns first week. Just really more than anything, people forgetting that we have that in place, and they were asked to take them back out to their vehicle. So that did catch at least 6 of them. Let's see. And I also wanted to go over, I know we had been discussing with Building and Grounds possibility of discussions of the old Chamber of Commerce building with the city. I had Shaw and Shanks go over today and look at the building, our architects, and it needs a lot of work. They estimate the building itself around $100,000 to even begin. It's in pretty bad shape. So that's an update on that. I don't know how the commission, if that's still even an option at this point. I didn't know how in depth it was, but they did a thorough overhaul of it today, inside and out. It needs a lot of work is what I've been told, a lot of work. And he said you're looking at starting at around 100,000. So that's an update on that. That may be something to remove off of our list. Next thing is, we are bringing the restrooms up to ADA standards in the courthouse. Those plans are complete, and the bid process will begin hopefully at the end of the month, 1st of May, for that project, to get all the restrooms up to standard and to add 2 family restrooms to each floor that will be able to use for anybody, especially wheelchair accessible. Those plans are ready. And the workforce development plans, which Brad will be happy to hear. I did receive the as-built drawings today. They're on my desk, and we will have the final copy from the surveyor in the next few weeks. So that's the status on that project. We do have the as-built floor plans for the entire, both buildings. And I think that's kind of all I got going on right now. If anybody's got anything for me.
Mayor Brad Johnson. Did they get copies of the drawings to Dr. McAbee?
Not yet. I'm planning on setting up a meeting with Shaw and Shanks, myself, and whoever becomes the Building and Grounds chair. That's the next step.
Any further questions for the mayor? Okay, hearing none. I will say I appreciate Director Harrell's report he put in our packets this month. That was very handy to see what exactly he does on his calls.
Yeah, and we have decided that he will submit a report each month to the commission, just to kind of give you an idea of what the office is doing. And we also had our new employee, Trent, start today. He's the deputy EMA, and he's a great guy, and we will bring him into the commission next month to meet the commission, since we'll be in person.
Thank you. All right, next we'll move on. This was a late addition. Commissioner Gary Bailey, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Can we take about a 5-minute break?
Let's finish up with Mr. Bailey, then we'll take a break before committee reports, if that's okay.
That'll be fine.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, this is 2 parts. I'd like to address the commission with something. The first one is an article in the paper the other day about trash in the city. I want everybody to know that the way the article was wrote, it basically looks like our county commission is not doing its job or being at the landfill. The problem is that's in the city, and I see Mr. Estes is on there. I'd like to just have an answer of why they tried to blame the county the way that was wrote. And the thing is, that's the city's cardboard and trash. So if they're throwing it out and they're locking their dumpsters, why are they blaming the county commission and the landfill with that? Because the article pretty much was stating that we was not taking it. My understanding that if it's in the city, that's their dumpsters, they are the ones that shut them off. We have never denied taking it. Now, I did have Benny to send an email to the city, basically telling them that if we cannot get to it, they are more than welcome to bring us that cardboard, besides going to a paper and saying that basically we ain't taking it, because we are not denying them the right to bring that to us. It's just the fact that when it's in the city is the one shutting that down. So Mr. Estes is on there, maybe we can get an answer.
See, Mr. Estes.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. I really appreciate being put on the spot since I'm an audience member, but I do appreciate the opportunity to speak to it. And I'll explain it to you this way. My understanding of the agreement, which predates me by some time, was that when these facilities were opened, it was a joint agreement between the city and the county. The city arranged to provide the land, the facilities to where they're located. One of them's on the edge of Lions Field and the other is leased by us from TDOT. And that on Mill Street was built through grant money to open that recycling facility. We do not operate a recycling program. Forgive me for my kids in the background.
You're fine.
We do not
You're
operate a recycling facility. We don't have a recycling program. This was an agreement between the city and the county. And the agreement was we would have the facility there available and that the dumpsters there belong to the county and that there's 3 sets of there's some dumpsters that are picked up 3 times a week and some roll-offs are picked up twice a week. On numerous occasions, we've had difficulty in having those dumpsters emptied to the point to where the recyclables were overflowing and members of the public were leaving those recyclables on the ground. But that's ultimately an unacceptable situation, I think, for anyone. We don't want to see that happen. That's one thing. The other one is if people are leaving trash and other items that are actually trash, not recyclables, that's another matter. And I hate that. It's unfortunate. I wish people wouldn't do that, but that wasn't the root of the problem. The root of the problem was we need them picked up if they're going to be open, and we don't have a facility to do it, and we don't operate trucks to do that. We don't do recyclables. The agreement was that the county would pick those up as needed, and we've struggled over a period of time to get them picked up routinely. This was really ultimately the straw that broke the camel's back, was that they went for a period to where ultimately that it just got in a terrible shape. It wasn't the first time, is my understanding. I don't personally deal with it. That's why I have a street sanitation manager, and I can have him come on at the next meeting if you'd like to speak to Mr. Hilbert directly, or we both can attend the next sanitation or the landfill committee if you wish. We'd be more than happy to do that, or have a dialogue, or you can call my office. I'd be more than happy to do so. But the thing is, this is not the first time. It's not the second time. It's been multiple times. And I can have Mr. Hilbert or his number 2, Jeff Marlowe, or the administration assistant, Kelly Tolley, speak to how many times they've tried to call and have the trash picked up. So it's a matter of, it's a win-win. We have a recycling facility in the city that city and county alike can use. That's a help to us. I agree. I like it. It's a nice thing. It's a good thing for the environment. And hey, and if it keeps trash out of the landfill, that's a tipping fee we don't have to pay for. But also, it's a winner for the county. You run a recycling operation. Y'all just got even deeper in the recycling business. And I applaud that. If there's money to be made, that's a winner for both of us. But if we don't pick it up, that's not part of the agreement, and it's never been part of the agreement. So if you're ready and willing to pick up the trash on a routine basis, we'll open tomorrow.
Well, my point is the way it was wrote in the paper. If there was a problem, somebody should have come to us and basically said, look, this is it. But it more or less just basically throws out that the county is not doing that part in the city. And that's why I was addressing this. So if there's a problem, you know, if one of our trucks is down, I don't see a problem of 4 miles up the road. And honestly, where the cardboard's going, functionally for you, is actually down there behind, near the ball field, behind Tractor Supply. So, I mean, it might be an agreement, but to have the trash thrown on the ground, then say the county's not doing their part,
Well, I appreciate that. And I wasn't throwing stones at anybody in particular, trying to make it personal, but I got a phone call about it because those statements were made in the landfill committee meeting, and the question was a fair one. What's the situation? I respect that and understand it, but the newspaper called my office wanting to understand what the situation was. And I tried to be polite and diplomatic in what I said. If you go back and read those words, I don't think I said anything particularly pointed. Yes, it was factual. I will say that. And again, I know that there's a matter of opinion as to what the circumstances are. But it's literally just, if we can have routine service to get those dumpsters emptied, everything will be fine.
We will try to work on that. Okay.
Can I address
All right.
or ask a question? It was a problem. I think I heard a little bit of it other night during the budget hearings. Was it because that he had 2 drivers down for sick as the reason it wasn't getting picked up?
Right now, he's trying to get some. That's what come up. I mean, we've had a job posting. They're not going to run with CDL for 10 something. And there's the problem. He is short driver. So, I mean, we've got to pick up what we can. So, I mean.
Well, and I understand and respect that there was a problem in the short run there with somebody who's sick. But again, I'm not trying to have a, knockdown drag out over it. It's not worth it for that. And I don't want it to be that at all. But this is not the first time we've had this problem. And it's just a matter of, if we're going to run it, we have to be able to run it in a consistent way and have it kept clean and work. It just has to work.
Okay, now
that's the agreement.
Can I make a quick suggestion, Gary? Maybe for future reference, maybe somebody else has a better idea. Maybe if we see we're going to have drivers down, maybe we can contact Mr. Hilbert and open up the communication line to possibly just have him to close it off so it's not laying on the ground blowing around.
Right. All right.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. That's one where if there's going to be a shorter, something's coming along, if we can catch it in anticipation of it getting to the point where it can't be picked up, we'll be happy to work with you. But it was a no-win situation. Again, I didn't. It wasn't personally to offend, but I stand by my statement.
Yeah, I think we just need to have if I need to attend one of the landfill meetings, maybe all of us just get together and work this out and get on some kind of plan. Like I said, if we're going to have people short-handed, to just contact Mr. Hilbert and just go ahead and just shut it down for a day or two so it's not piling up. But we definitely need to get something, an understanding between both sides, especially with I read there was hardwood thrown in one of the dumpsters, and that's going to be a pain with our new baler. So we got to get that taken care of. Okay, Mr. Hill, I see Mr. Hill.
Trying to ask something.
Hold on, I think Commissioner Hill from the 2nd District would like to speak.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. I also saw that article, and there was something glaringly missing, and that was anything in the sandwich for the customer. There is no indication of customer service in this thing. In the case of these convenience centers and landfill ops in general, your customers are the taxpayers. They pay for this service in advance, and not being able to utilize these services that they have paid for in good faith in advance causes them to have to take it somewhere else. There's an illegal dump site that is being proposed to be cleaned up right now. I think that's probably where part of that goes, but glaringly missing on both sides of the coin, city and county, was a woeful omission of any kind of consideration for the customer. Please do better in client relations. You guys can talk. You guys can certainly figure this out. This shouldn't really even be a topic at this meeting right now. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Garland, I see you got your hand up.
That's the key to it, is communication. I know Mr. Estes mentioned that, because I've heard both sides also, from the city side, from county side. I think the people dumping stuff down there illegally, trash, 1,200 pounds of hardwood floor, nobody can deal with that. Now, I've also heard that cameras aren't working that on those facilities. So I think just talking it out and trying to get on the same page and working out the kinks of this thing, because it's a pretty successful operation if we can keep it going, and we need to, especially with the new baler coming on in the next month or so. So that's something we got to work out and iron out for all of us, for the good of this county and city. Thank you.
The second part of this, basically, I'm glad Mr. Estes is on there, is communication. 2 months ago, we had a special call meeting with the landfill to basically 19-5 was the vote to send it to you all, to the city, to see what their thoughts are on a 501(c)(3). Has there been any discussion on that? Because
no.
What we're hearing in the paper and around is they don't care, or just it's dead. So, the communication, I think the commission made it pretty clear what they want to go with. And we're just trying to figure out, now we're at 12 months before this is going to come back up, and any discussion at all.
Well, I appreciate it again to speak off the cuff. I'm always willing to do so. But let me say this. I think a couple of things are in order. One would be, my personal opinion is, I think a little cooling off period was of use, because emotions were running high and folks were really keyed up on the whole matter. And there's nothing to be gained by being hasty one way or the other, because we need to figure out what's going on. I suspect what you will hear if you speak to the city council members is that they're willing to entertain a 501c3 as a form of incorporation or governance, whatever it's going to be, for the animal shelter. However, that's a concept, that's not a plan. I think that before you can sign on to something, it's going to have to be more fully fleshed out. So I think what you've seen is an opportunity to find out where the process is going to play out. If the animal shelter board is going to facilitate some of that, how that's going to play out as far as getting the particulars lined up. It's not at the stage where it's an action item. Again, I can't speak for 7 people because I maybe part of my job is to read the collective minds of 7 people on a daily basis, but which is not entirely possible. But I don't think it's again, to say yes, 501c3, no matter what, or absolutely no, we're never going to do that. It makes no sense. I think it's an open mind. But I don't know how much fruit is to be borne by voting on a concept alone. I would instead say I think it's useful to let a process play out if that's going to be by way of the shelter board, which I think that they're trying to find their way on that. If you were in attendance at the last shelter meeting, they're trying to figure that out. And by the way, 3 out of the 7 members of the council are on that board. So that gives them some place to participate. I think the comment maybe that you were referring to, Commissioner Bailey, about how it got started was maybe one of perception and communication.
Yeah.
And it was in that it might have been more advisable if we were going to have this discussion, city and county government together, to have more fully fleshed it out. And I appreciate that it's the commission's prerogative to express its opinion however it wishes. But to put the shoe on the other foot, it looks like this was the commission's vote, fair or unfair, to actually say, well, this is what we want done. This is where we're going, period. It's either, whatever it is, lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Mr. Chairman.
And that's not exactly how a partnership, if you work with somebody and try to communicate with them to come to an answer, don't jump out in front of the other one. Talk with them and try to work it out. Because I think the council's open to the discussion. They just don't want to be run over.
Okay. I think if it's all right, Mr. Bailey, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop this conversation if that's okay.
We're done.
I just want to say that I did listen to the animal shelter board meeting the other night, and I think it may get brought up later on in committee report. Maybe if not, I'll bring it up. But they did bring up the fact that they want CTAS and MTAS to work together to basically dig into this, and I think it's something we definitely need to consider on our part to support that when that comes before us. And I think there'll be a letter come to myself and maybe Mayor Woodby.
Chairman Hill, I will report on that at the appropriate juncture.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Acuff. So with that being said, let's take about a 10-minute break. Let's come back at 7:15, and we'll get started with committee reports. My watch, it's 7:15. We'll go ahead and jump back in here and let, hopefully everybody in the courthouse will start rolling back in. But Chairman James has texted me and said he's going to jump on here and give the budget report. So whenever he wants to start, we'll go ahead and let Chairman James start. Ross, do you have your hand up?
I did not, but I thought I was actually presenting this, but if he wants to, he's more than welcome.
Well, he told me earlier you probably would, but he just texted me and said he's going to jump on and do budget and he's going to jump back off. I don't know what's.
Okay.
He might be a little bit busy for some reason tonight.
All right, is everybody on?
We're here, buddy.
All right, everybody turn to the budget and let's move forward. All right, first I'll put into a form of a motion to approve addendum number 2 to the inmate medical contract with Southern Health Partners. The renewal for the 2021 fiscal year has a 3% adjustment and an increase of $1,468.73 to the monthly base rate, making the new base annual cost of this $605,117.88.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. James.
Second.
Second by Mr. Garland. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please. Oh. Aaron, can you turn your all speaker on?
Check, Chicky.
Mark Blevins,
Yeah.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill, Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff, Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James, Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Mike Hill, Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonja Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Restate the motion, please. Sorry, I was late. Sorry.
okay.
Thanks, Aaron.
Sorry.
You just
And, put into a form of a motion to,
Mary, hello. Mary, it's Commissioner Hill, District 2. My vote was yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, it doesn't seem to work.
Aaron, it's the renewal of the Southern Health Partners for the Sheriff's Department.
yeah.
Approved. Yeah, I agreed.
Change your mind.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
Okay,
Change mine back to yes.
okay,
I'm yes too.
all right. All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, next I put into form of a motion to appropriate $59,863.08 from the courthouse security reserve account for construction costs related to installing an additional new entry exit door and flooring for the clerk of master's office.
I got a question.
Hold on. We got a motion by Mr. James. We got to have a second before we hit discussion. We have a second. Second by Mr. Garland. Now discussion. Mr. Bailey.
Exactly where is this door going?
Those at the clerk and master's office.
In the back?
Yeah, they've got a window that's coming out. Right now, the chancellor has to walk around the building to get in, and for security reasons, he's supposed to not really be going in with the public.
And they don't have an exit door in their office in case of emergencies for the staff.
Gary, I feel like we've been discussing this since we took office. It's been on there for a while.
All right, we're good.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes, sir, Mr. Tester.
I do have a question. In Building and Grounds, this was brought up, and it was stated in our packet the tune of $57,000. When the budget approved it, it was $59,863, which is roughly rounding off $3,000 increase. And I was just wondering, and forgive me if I don't know what this is, but you know, $60,000 seems a lot for just cutting a door. But and I'm sure there's more to that, but I'm not been privy to what other stuff's being done here. So if someone could fill me in, I would appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Tester, I'm not sure of all of it. The mayor will have to update you, but with this quote is putting the door in, so, and it's going in the historic part, so we've got to comply with whatever the historic committee has said. I believe it's getting awning over it. We're going to have to build some sort of platform for them to exit because of the elevation difference. And then on top of that, they're also replacing all the flooring in this quote in the clerk and master's office too.
So it's not just a door.
Mr. Tester, on the quote they sent out to the budget committee, it's got $56,900 for the construction costs, and that includes replacement of floor in the clerk and master's office suite, includes unforeseen conditions allowance of $2,500, includes hardware for new door allowance $1,500. And then you've got ancillary costs, which are architectural fees, fire marshal review, historic zoning review, and miscellaneous. And that's where the $59,000 come in.
We've had to cross a lot of hurdles to get that approved through the fire marshal and the historical zoning committee. We had to go in front of all those entities to get this approved. It's not just a door. It'll be a platform with steps going up to the door. There'll be an awning over top of that. The awning also has to match the other awnings that are on the building. And like Commissioner James said, there's currently carpet in there, and they're going to have to pull up a portion of that carpet to do this project. So it was decided to go ahead and pull up all that nasty carpet that's in there and replace it with the flooring that's currently in all the offices in the courthouse at the time.
Chairman Hill, if I may.
Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am, Ms. Holdren.
It was falsely reported in Budget Committee that this passed out of Building and Grounds. This did not pass out of Building and Grounds. Building and Grounds wanted a breakdown of the cost. A motion was made and passed unanimously that we would ask Mayor Woodby to ask Shawn Shanks to provide cost analysis on this to show us exactly where the dollars were going. So we deferred it until next month. So it was very surprising and somewhat disrespectful to me to find that it appeared in the budget meeting a week later. Out of respect for the Building and Grounds Committee, I would ask that this commission vote no on this issue tonight.
From my understanding, Commissioner Holdren, the Building and Grounds had already approved this contract with the door previous months ago, and it came back around again due to there was some change. This was the final contract, but the initial contract had already been approved. Her county attorney, Josh Harden, we had already approved that contract, and I just brought it back through Building and Grounds again to update the committee on the status of the project.
Well, Mayor Woodby, this is a lot of money, and I take it very seriously when we spend any money. I wouldn't even, I responded to Commissioner Hill that I didn't even want to change the status of this meeting this evening because I didn't want to pay the new advertisement. I take every dollar that we spend very, very seriously. This is enough money to almost cost our taxpayers a whole penny on their property taxes this year. I don't think, as long as it's already taken, I agree with Hill and some of them that have spoken up and said that this has been on our discussions, our agendas for a long, long time now. But it's been that long. Why can we not wait one more month to see how this money is being spent?
Chairman Hill, Brad Johnson.
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
I agree with Chairwoman Holdren about this. This was deferred in it, and the largest reason was that the bid was modified, as it's already been stated, that there were other items that was either added to because of the type of constructions going on. But if you look at the bid, and since it is modified, it's only a single line identification on work to be performed. Now, we're paying for an AE service, and part of their service is to review the bid and to verify that the amount that is bid is within comparable range of what the cost of the construction is. Because all you got, like I said, a single line and $56,000, and it doesn't tell you anything. And they're also to verify that the work to be performed is in the scope of work that was placed out for bid. And I support our chairwoman Holden, as it should be go back to committee for the Building and Grounds to approve that, and for the AEs to give their opinion on the value of the thing.
Chairman James, would it be out of line for me to ask you to remove your motion and Mr. Gardner remove his second, and defer this until next month, until we get a breakdown?
I'm perfectly fine. I'm not deferring it next month. They can go to Building and Grounds and they can send it back when they get it cleared up in their committee. So we've talked on this long enough. We've got plenty to cover here. So send it back. Miss Woodby, if you would reach out to the chancellor and see if you can get him to log on next month to Building and Grounds Committee and reinforce why he feels that it's necessary. Maybe him and Mr. will report both, and why it's necessary that they need a $60,000 door, and see if that can help a little bit with it too. So
I wouldn't bother the chancellor or for our clerk and master. It's just a matter of the bid document being certified and verified by our AE. It is a requirement in ways because it does violate the NFPA, the fire codes for the building. That space does not have but one exit for the employees or any of the customers or citizens that's in that space if an incident takes place. So that brings it within qualification. The question is the cost. Now, we've already stated that a window is going to be taken out. So basically, to go in and to mine through the wall, all you got is the lower portion. The reinforcement of the top is already there. So that takes out the seriousness of the construction side of the house. So that's why my question is, that's awful lot.
Mayor, before we decide to defer this, do you have the quote where you can look at it? Is any of this price guaranteed for a certain period of time or what? Because that's one thing that we do need to look at right now, because material, they won't, my material quotes, they won't guarantee but a week at the moment.
It's 60 days, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, even if it is, it can be rebid. We're not held to that. That's part of the statement on going out for bid.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is the material is fluctuating so much, it's going up so quick that I don't know how good the quote was good for. So we're not, we're sitting here talking about 59,000, but next month it may be 67,000 is what I was getting at.
And just to let the committee know, or the commission know, that is what Shaw and Shanks says. The problem is of the cost is materials right now are so expensive. The high quote that we had the bid come in was $86,000. That was on the high end of the quotes, the bids that came in.
Just to clarify a couple more things, Chairman Hill, if you don't mind.
Yes, Ms. Holden, go ahead.
So I reached out to Tom Shanks this evening around 5 p.m. I love that group. Every time I've had to talk to Tim or Tom, as Mayor Woodby has stated before, they are very nice, very helpful, very kind at all times. The number is 56.9 for labor and materials. 5808, so that's $5,808, goes on top of 56.9, bringing the total project to $62,708. When I asked during Building and Grounds if the 56.9 included architectural fees and managerial fees of the project, I was told yes, it does. But when I talked to Tom Shanks today, he said, no, ma'am. 5808 goes on top of that for their project management and for their architectural drawings and whatnot. So the project actually is more than the number we're given tonight. Tom Shanks could not tell me where the 59,000 number came from. So I think if we're going to vote on any numbers in the future, it's got to be 56.9 or 62,708.
Commissioner Holden,
Yes.
I was looking at the quote on my phone, and for some reason, it's got owner's contingency of 5% marked out. And that brought it down to the 59,863.08, which was 28.45.
Yeah, that was correct. They told me to take that out after they sent that to me.
Well, he told me today that it needs to stay in there until the project is complete. And if we don't spend it, that's when it comes out.
Okay.
Chairman Hill,
Yes, Mr. James.
if I might, we've done beat this rug, so it's going back to building and grounds. So let's move forward with this. They can figure out numbers and bring it back to us, whatever it is, next month.
All right. Thank you.
All right, next. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add that it as far as it's compliant with the new courthouse security, with fitting it with the kind of keyed entry and all that stuff too, right? And ADA and everything.
Yes.
We talked, right.
All right, next up, we'll put into a form of a motion to appropriate $35,000 from the general unassigned fund balance for salary and benefits for the future Carter County Finance Director.
Motion by Mr. James,
Second.
second by Mr. Frazier. Discussion.
Why was vacation added into that number for such a short period of time?
I believe
We've got
Hold
to
on.
buy Mr. Burke out of his vacation time, and so we went ahead. There's not currently enough in his line item to purchase his vacation time out. So we had to add enough to go ahead and be able to purchase his vacation time.
Okay, so just for clarification, 30,000 is set aside for the training of a new finance director once they come on board, and about 5,000 is for Burke's vacation time that we need to purchase.
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, that vacation will be closer to 10.
Oh, well, stand corrected. 'Cause
Well, I would hope that, by the time that we hire a finance director, we're not going to need to spend 30,000 anyway, I wouldn't think.
No, and that's why we're kind of doing, we put a number out there that we kind of factored, we hoped was really close, and it's just going to be set there. And so, when we hire somebody, of course, we'll set their salary, and then they may be extra money left in there, and we're getting ready to come up in the budget, so we'll yank it back out if there's anything left. But we just, we're on a tight time frame, so we don't want to run up to where we're short on the money and not have the money to hire somebody. But yeah, and that Brad had told us that we'd also need to put some money there to be able to buy his vacation time. So that's where we come up with the 35 from.
Chairman Hill, I'm
Yes, Ms.
a
Collins.
little confused. How much is the vacation time?
Roughly $10,000 is what Director Burke's saying.
So you're going to count, what was it, 20,000 then for the,
Been 25.
okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
No.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
No.
Gary Bailey,
I'll pass right now.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McInturf,
No.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
Does anyone want to change their vote?
I'll vote yes.
It was
Gary.
Gary Bailey. Okay, 21 ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
And Chairman, I'd just like to add on top of that, in the next coming days, financial management is going to be seeking for that position. And, you know, I know there's not as many of us on that committee, but there is 24 commissioners that has to work with this person. So I greatly appreciate, and I'm sure Commissioner Holdren would, all of us that sits on that committee, everybody's input and thoughts on this when we hire somebody. You know, everybody's got to talk to this person, so we want somebody that can work with all. So.
Commissioner Hill,
Yes, Mr. Tester.
I would make a suggestion that whoever writes the specifications up for this job and all like that, that they have a minimum requirement of so many years service in government business and stuff like that. That might keep you from getting 400 resumes.
Commissioner Tester, I believe Commissioner Holdren can address this. I think we're using the same one we used last year.
And I don't.
No?
No, we are not.
Okay, sorry.
Director Burke and I worked on this for about a week. We could have advertised the position sooner, but he and I wanted to get the advertisement correct. So he and I went back and forth for several days, and we came up with an advertisement that is more restrictive than what we had used last year. Because last year we got a lot of applicants that had managed 5 people at Wendy's that wanted to be our finance director. And I'm making that up, but that's very similar to some of the applications that we saw. So this time we did put in there so many years of government service, so many millions of dollars in management. I think we used 100 for the number of employees that they've had to oversee. And that means countywide, not within the department, of course. But that, you know, and Director Burke, if you want to chime in here, but we did try really hard to get a more qualified top individual.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir, Director Burke.
Yeah, I would just like to add a couple things. I believe it's absolutely essential to have somebody with governmental finance experience. It's a different world than private business. Be hard to learn the governmental as well as taking care of the responsibilities that come along with the position.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move forward.
Commissioner Hill, Chairman Hill, can we get a copy of that? Commissioner Holdren, can a copy be sent out to everyone about the qualifications?
Of course, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And now we do have a special called meeting on this on the 22nd at 6 o'clock. I haven't looked, Ms. Holdren. Is it Zoom or is it in person?
It's in person, sir.
In person at 6 o'clock, I guess, in the main courtroom, correct?
It'll be in whichever room Miss Abby and Miss Woodby tell us is vacant and available. It'll be somewhere on the 2nd floor of the courthouse.
Yep. So anybody that wants to show up, please come.
I understand that was advertised for the mayor's conference room, and that's not a very big space at this time.
We will not be going over any applications on that evening because applications can be received through April the 30th. So I understand that people will be interested, but that kind of meeting is going to be in May, not April. So Ms. Culler, I'll definitely take that into consideration when we schedule that meeting. Thank you.
All right, if everybody's good, we're going to move forward here. Next, I'll put into a form of a motion to approve a policy establishing a deadline for all Carter County departments to submit any budget committee related requests and documents to the Carter County Finance Department the first Monday of each month, 7 calendar days prior to the regular scheduled budget meetings, with an exception for issues that the Finance Department classifies as an emergency.
Second.
A motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Frazier. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Levins,
Yes.
Robert A. Cup,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Ross Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, next, I put into a form of a motion to appropriate $30,000 from the CARES Act funding to give additional funds to the Carter County Rescue Squad to cover the cost of additional expenses due to COVID-19.
Second motion, Mark Blevins. First.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Blevins. Any discussion? Seeing no hands raised, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
sorry, Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert A. Kev,
Abstain for cause I'm on the board.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
sorry, Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, next I'll put in form of a motion to appropriate $15,000 to the Second Harvest Food Bank for the backpack program, funding to come from the general fund unassigned fund balance in the amount of $10,000 and reallocation of contribution to the Carter County Honor Guard of $5,000.
Second.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Bailey. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman Hill,
Yes, sir, Mr. Von Cannon.
I spoke to the 3 gentlemen that are now representing the Honor Guard from Carter County, but they had to join the Honor Guard from Washington County, but they serve here. Something has happened in that whole organization, and before we fund anybody, I think we need to get the county attorney to try to sort out what's going on. The van that was used to haul the people is no longer available. There's just numerous things about that situation that would leave us holding the bag with something. I want to know before I would vote for it, what's going on, because it's not, something is wrong with that situation.
Mr. Von Cannon.
And it involves the van, it involves the weapons. Who else has been involved in this?
Mr. Von Cannon.
Who else knows about the dissension within the group?
Charlie.
Go ahead, Mr. James.
we're pulling the money from the honor guard because they have dissolved or something of that nature. They've never picked their money up. So since we're already getting ready to flip to the budget time, we're taking and moving it to the Second Harvest Food Bank because we've never funded them. And she come in and requested and said they deliver over 2 million pounds of food in Carter County every year, I believe if that was correct. And so we thought it was necessary that we ought to try to back up and give them something for last year to help with this.
Am I permitted to make a motion that the county attorney look into this because it's serious from what I've seen. And I didn't see enough of it to know for sure, but I saw enough to know that we used to have 6 or 7 honor guard people come to a funeral.
Charles, they're taking the money away from them. They're taking the money away from the guard, from the honor guard.
Then that's the problem.
We're taking the money away because there is no honor guard anymore.
You've still got the people in Carter County that are serving on the honor guard. Marlowe is one, the sailor, whoever he is, and Kelly Green seems to be out of it. He's the guy that headed it up. But they have to check their weapon. They have to go to Johnson City to get the weapons, come back. They don't have a van. They did ask Mayor about the white van that's sitting on the lot a lot of the times, if that would be available. But
Mr. Harden, if you don't care, could you look into that and get with Mr. Von Cannon and figure out what's going on here?
Yes, sir, I will do my best.
I withdraw my second, Travis. Let's just go.
I just know something's not right because there's too much floating around out there. Some of it's got to be true. Some of it's got to be false.
Okay, so we don't have a second anymore. Does anybody want to second Mr. James' motion?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Frazier. Any discussion now?
Is there any way, I mean, we're taking that 15 from the honor guard and basically giving to Second Harvest. Is that what we're trying to do?
Yes, they have apparently dissolved or something, but for the last 2 years, they have not come in and picked their money up. So since we're getting ready to go to it in a whole nother budget cycle, this money's still sitting there. So, you know, you were sitting there the other night when the Second Harvest Food Bank come in and told us how many millions of pounds they provide to Carter County. So we're trying to back up and make up for some of those years that we didn't get them funded, and we're going to fund them moving forward. Hopefully.
I understand that. Is there any way we can just take 15 from unassigned and then just keep the 15 for honor guard just in case something comes out of that in the budget?
I mean, I think we could just give an appropriation if they come and request some money. I don't think we'll ever deny the honor guard money. Right. I think we should just wait until a formal group comes and requests some money.
And one thing that people have to understand is the money that we had approved to give to them is to an organization that no longer exists.
Negative, it does exist.
Well, we were told that it had been disbanded.
American Legion.
Right, but this is specifically for that honor guard.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but although the honor guard has been abolished, that doesn't mean that it won't be reorganized. But what you said is they can get the money up on request.
Correct. They can come back and they can do a budget request.
Do they have a reserve now? I mean, the money is on hand. That doesn't mean that the American Legion has it in their account. This is just still in Carter County's.
Yeah, this is still money that's in Carter County, Jerry. It
okay.
had been appropriated, but they never had come in and actually formally got it and done the step, what all it took else to get it. So it's been sitting there for the past 2 years. So we're trying to move it around to do something with it. And if they come in and request some more, then we can appropriate something at that time for them.
There's 5,000 veterans in this county. You got to take care of it some way. As you know, they serve their time and they deserve a military funeral if that's what they desire.
Mr. Chair?
There's still 5,000.
That's like to add a little clarity.
Something exists because these people are from Carter County that I went to the funeral of Al King, and they were there, 4 of them. Generally, there's 6 or 8. And one of them was a guy just in on military leave, and they recruited him, a Marine. But that was shy of what they normally would be given as a military funeral. And
Director
it's
Burke,
not-
you're recognized.
Okay, thank you. Just a little clarification on this. A couple of men have come in. I've talked to them a couple of times, and they are in the process, my most recent understanding anyway, of forming a group to take over this very honorable duty that's provided to the veterans. And like somebody said before, I believe, or may not have. Anyway, there was $10,000 appropriated in 1920 and $5,000 in 2021. The county has not paid out anything to the Honor Guard, the Carter County Honor Guard. They never requested anything. And as this motion states, the $5,000 will be coming from this year's budget, 2021. And since the $10,000 from 1920 rolled into fund balance, that's where the other 10 is coming from.
The problem seems to be between the VFW, the American Legion, and the 3 or 4 that are serving without any authority. Well, any authority, they're serving because the need is there.
Chairman, I think we've
And
had
that's not enough.
I agree. Let's call for the vote. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
The motion is to appropriate $15,000 to Second Harvest Food Bank for the backpack program. Funding is to come from the general unassigned fund balance in the amount of $10,000 and reallocate a contribution to the Carter County Honor Guard of $5,000.
Yes.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert A. Cup,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
No, I can't do that.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
The answer is no until you can find out who to give it to.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
No.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yeah.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonja Culler,
No.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet,
Yes.
20 ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Next, we'll put into, all right, if everybody wants to move into their budget amendments, we're into there now.
While Austin's pulling that up, can I just make a statement to say that I don't think anybody on this commission is going to deny the Honor Guard money if they come request it.
No, and the only thing to back up and give a little more insight, I didn't pick up from Brad, the $10,000 out of the appropriation had done rolled back into the general fund, so they wouldn't, if I understand correctly from Brad, not able to request that anyway. So it's $5,000 is what we had moved, and that's getting ready to end this. You know, when we wrap this budget up this year, it would roll back into the general fund. So, you know, if they have a request for this coming year, I don't, you know, don't think anybody's going to deny that. All right, if everybody's ready, we're going to move into the amendments now. All right, first I put in form of a motion to approve General Fund 101 Budget Amendment Number 10 for a total of $93,627.03, with $76,018.03 coming from reserve fund balance and $0 coming from the unassigned fund balance.
We have a motion by Mr. James. Do a second. Second by Mr. Garland. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right. Next, I put in form of a motion to approve solid waste sanitation fund number 116, budget amendment number 4, for a total of $9,000 with nothing coming from unassigned fund balance.
Second.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Bailey. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right. Next, I'll put into a form of a motion to approve the Highway Public Works Fund number 131, budget amendment number 4, for a total of $68,477.50 with nothing coming from fund balance.
Second.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Ms. Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right. Next, I put into a form of a motion to approve the General Purpose School Fund number 141, Amendment 8A, for a total of $177,607.17 with nothing coming from fund balance.
Second, Aaron Frazier.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Frazier. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Profit.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Next, I put into a form of a motion to appropriate general purpose school fund number 141, budget amendment number 9, for a total of $500,015.94, with $36,437.50 coming from a reserve fund balance and $26,437.50 coming from unassigned fund balance.
Second.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Bailey. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland, Ross Garland, Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonia Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Profit,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, next I put into a form of a motion to approve School Federal Projects Fund number 142, amendment number 9, for a total of $6,767,442.58, with nothing coming from unassigned fund balance.
Second, Aaron Frazier.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Frazier. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Garland,
Yes. Yes. Dang it.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonia Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Profit,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, next I put into a form of a motion to approve Head Start Fund number 145, budget amendment number 4, for a total of $284,928.51, with nothing coming from unassigned fund balance.
Second, Mark Blevins.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Blevins. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonia Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Profit,
Yes.
all ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, next I put into a form of a motion to approve the following monetary donations to the animal shelter in the amount of $1,170.
Second, Aaron Frazier.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Frazier. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McInturf,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, next I put in form of a motion to approve the non-monetary donations from Walmart made to the animal shelter for approximate value of $349.45.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. James, second by Mr. Tester. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McInturf,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, that's all we have for budget. I'll just let everybody know that we're having to flex some of the dates around for the budget hearings. And so when we get, I've sent a thing around for the budget committee to look at. I'm gonna give it a couple more days, and if I don't have any more responses and everybody's fine with it, I'm gonna send it around to everybody to review. So if you got any questions or something, just let me know.
Thank you, Chairman James. Next, we'll move on to the nominating committee with Chairman Frazier.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, got several to go through tonight, so I'll try to be as quick as we possibly can. First up on the list would be nomination for the county historian, Miss Lisa Germain. And I will put that into a form of a motion that we approve Lisa Germain as the new county historian.
Second, Mike Hill, District 2.
Motion by Mr. Frazier, second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion?
Excellent choice.
Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McInturf,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
All right, thank you, guys. Next up on the list would be 2 reappointments and 1 new appointment to the Equalization Board. First up on the list would be reappointment of Richard Todd Smith to the Equalization Board, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Frazier, second by Mr. Von Cannon to reappoint Todd Smith to the Equalization Board. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Next up on the list would be the reappointment of Deborah Sands to the Equalization Board, and I put that into a form of a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Frazier, second by Mr. James for the reappointment of Deborah Sams to the Equalization Board. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
I don't, who seconded that?
Austin James.
Thank you, guys. Next up on the list would be the new appointment of Blaine McCamus to the Equalization Board, and I put that into a form of a motion.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Frazier, second by Mr. James for the appointment of Blaine McCamus to the Equalization Board. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
No.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
No.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
22 ayes.
Motion
Thank you,
passed. Thank you.
guys. Next up on the agenda is the appointment of the commissioner for the second district of the Planning Commission. Nominee was Kenneth Shell, and I put that into a form of a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That is Steve Stevenson is the nominee. Steve Stevenson is the nominee.
Motion by Mr. Frazier, second by Ms. Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please. If you don't care, start with the second district, please.
Second,
Yeah, start with the second, then go. Do the rest of them.
Okay. Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
No.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonia Culler,
yes,
Daniel McInturf,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet,
Yes.
Chairman Hill, before we go for the third district appointee, I would like a ruling by the county attorney. We haven't called for any nominations from the floor, but I think there will be one for the third district. That vote was close coming out of nominations. It was 5-3.
Okay.
I certainly want to nominate Jerry Pearman and have, since that vote was so close, to have the entire commission vote on that position.
Okay. Attorney Harden, do you want to address that?
Sure, if the nominating committee is giving their recommendation, of course, but there can be nominations from the floor if there are any others interested to be nominated.
Josh, since we know there's going to be one, should it not become as a motion from the nominating commission? We just open it up for nominations right off the top, or how do we do that?
No, I think the chairman of the nominating committee can certainly give the recommendation of the nominating committee and report that to the full commission here. But after that nomination or recommendation is made, then you can open the floor for nomination.
Okay.
Mark, how did you vote on that one?
Am I okay to proceed, Mr. Hill?
No.
I think she's still checking on the vote on Stevenson.
Okay.
Okay, 22 ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
All right, next up would be the planning commission seat for the third district. The nominating committee voted, as Mr. Acuff said, 5-3 for Robert Burrow, and that is, I put forth his name as a motion.
Second, Mark Tester.
We have Robert Burrow. Do we want to open up the floor to nominations?
Yes, sir. If there's others that would like to nominate, they're more than welcome to do so.
Chairman Hill, I nominate Jerry Pearman.
Dr. Acuff has nominated Jerry Pearman. Any further nominations?
Make a motion to cease.
Okay, we have a motion to cease nominations. Okay, second by Mr. Blevins. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll to cease nomination.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
yes,
Daniel McInturf,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
Pass.
Who seconded that?
Mark Blevins.
You did?
No, Mark did. On the
All right.
motion, cease was Mark.
So we have two nominees for the third district, that being Jerry Pearman and Robert Burrow. So as the clerk calls your name, please state the name of the person you want to see put on.
Chairman,
Yes, Chairman Hill, or Commissioner Hill.
Yes, sir. I would just like to ask if Mr. Daniel Smith is actually with us tonight online. I am in receipt of an interestingly worded letter from Daniel Smith, and I reached out to my friend Daniel Smith, who coincidentally lives in this district, and he assured me that he wrote no such letter. There were assurances in the letter that said that Mr. Smith, whoever the author was, would be with us tonight, and I just wondered if we could recognize that individual.
Yes, sir. Daniel Smith, are you online? You are recognized if you are to speak. Hearing nobody, Commissioner Hill, I do not think he is online.
Chairman, Commissioner James.
Yes, Mr. James.
I think before we take the vote, we maybe should ask if either one of the people running for the positions here would like to speak, or if there's anybody who wants to speak on their behalf.
Okay. Is Mr. Burrow or Mr. Pearman either one with us in attendance tonight? Hearing nobody, is any commissioners or anybody in the public would like to speak on their behalf?
Chairman Hill, I'll speak on Mr. Pearman's behalf.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Acuff.
Thank you, sir. Even though, and it's regrettable that we received a letter, it's the first letter I've ever received or seen in my almost 7 years as a commissioner, that there weren't multiple signatures to that objection for Mr. Pearman to repeat on the Planning Commission. I find that very questionable and dubious, matter of fact. Number of issues that have come to me where constituents have filed letters. Many have signed it and put their signatures to that to attest to the fact that they supported that issue. The letter that came before us or before the nominating committee did not contain anything but the 3rd District individuals of concern or some manufacturing thereof. I will speak on Jerry's behalf in that he spends a lot of time at the Planning Commission. He goes out with the staff down there. If it weren't for Commissioner Brad Johnson and Jerry Pearman, we probably would not have a viable code enforcement in this county. I know Commissioner Johnson did Yo Person's work in that as a heavy lift, but Jerry was also there supporting that effort. Now, whether you believe things were handled appropriately, hopefully we've put that behind us. There is question to that, but we know why that was done because of the fact that the commission didn't honor its agreement with Director Schuetler. So I think the issue comes that Jerry is still supportive. He's a very good chair of the Planning Commission and works very well with the Planning Commission office. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Chairman Hill, I'd like to speak on it a little bit.
Yes, sir, Mr. James.
I know we all have had our indifferences over the last little bit of time with his position and everything, but you know, I didn't realize, I guess myself, for the last few coming weeks, that Mr. Pearman put in as much time as what he does over there. You know, when being on the commission, I understand how important it is when you have a commission that puts in the time and when you have a commissioner that doesn't put in the time. You know, when you have somebody picking up the slack for everybody else, it takes a lot. You know, Miss Kristen works over there. I don't know if she's on here or not, but she might be able to tell you too. You know, Pearman spent 3 hours over in the office the other day prepping her and getting her ready for her first day of court to do litter violation cases that she had never done before. And nobody else came in and offered to help with that. And then when we were short-staffed, but due to the COVID issue we had over there, from my understanding, Pearman came in and worked in the office to make sure that we was able to still keep the office running. You know, I mean, granted, we've had some issues and problems, and I get that, but at the same point in time, you know, what kind of position or shape might we be in the event that we put somebody else there that's not willing to put forth the same amount of effort? But that's all.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. James. Anybody else? Hearing nobody else, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Madam Clerk, if you'll start with the 3rd District, please, and then work through the rest.
Bradley Johnson,
Burrows,
Mark Tester,
Borough.
Charles Von Cannon,
Borough.
Willie Campbell,
Borough.
Mark Blevins,
Borough.
Robert A. Cuff,
Chairman,
Nancy Brown,
Borough.
Mike Hill,
Pearman.
Julie Gwynn,
Borough.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Borough.
Jerry Prophet,
Borough.
Austin James,
Pearman.
Ross Garland,
Borough.
Layla Ward,
Borough.
Ginger Holdren,
Borough.
Randall Jenkins,
Borough.
Gary Bailey,
Borough.
Travis Hill,
Chairman.
Sonia Culler,
Pearman.
Daniel McIntyre,
Borough.
Aaron Frazier,
Borough.
Robin McCamey,
Borough.
Kelly Collins,
Pearman.
Thomas Prophet.
Pearman.
17 for Borough.
17 for Mr. Burrow, 7
for
for Mr. Pearman. So it looks like Mr. Burrow will be the new 3rd District person on the Planning Commission.
That is all I have, ladies and gentlemen.
Aaron, or Chairman Frazier, I did speak, I was made aware of last night that the Board of Zoning Appeals had 2 open spots. I spoke with Mr. Schutler today, and he's going to advertise those for us to address in May.
Excellent, sir.
What board was that, Travis?
Zoning and Appeals, I believe that's correct. Is that correct, Mr. Johnson?
Thank you.
correct.
Thank you. We'll move on to Landfill Committee with Chairman Bailey.
Let the minutes stand for themselves.
Thank you. Highway, Blevins. Thank you. Health and Welfare, Dr. Acuff.
thank you, Chairman. Just a couple of comments regarding broadband. The minutes can obviously reflect the discussion of the meeting, but we voted unanimously to ask for a rollover for matching funds for rural broadband of $600,000. And I know Chairman Hill said that we would probably, through this windfall profit, if you will, that comes from the state and other sources, be able to earmark some of those funds for rural broadband. So we're okay with that. I just want to make sure that we don't lose our place at the table. And the second thing, now that we know Carter County Schools will also benefit from the windfall, I would ask that the commission reach out to the superintendent and the school board and ask them also to match those funds so that we can have a corpus of money that we can go forward with as soon as the grants are released and applied for, probably sometime in late July or early August. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to Financial Management with Chairwoman Holdren.
Financial management has not met yet this month. We are meeting Thursday, as Commissioner James stated. The purpose of that meeting will be to primarily discuss the application process that will be followed. Everybody's welcome if you feel comfortable meeting in person this coming Thursday. That's going to be the biggest thing we have to accomplish in the coming months.
Thank you. Next, we'll do Education Committee with Chairwoman Ward.
We'll allow the minutes to reflect our meeting.
Okay, thank you. Building and Grounds. I'm not sure who's going to give that report.
I will, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I had to fill in for Isaiah this month because he had a sick child. We do have a couple of things that the commission needs to vote on this evening. One of which is something that we voted on previously, but there's been a slight change, so we have to vote on it again. And that is a donation of land up in the Fish Springs area. If Attorney Harden wouldn't mind to just tell the commission why we have to vote on that again, I would appreciate it.
Sure. When this was brought before the commission before, the property that is being donated was still part of a larger tract that had not been subdivided, and the access to that tract was off of directly off of Whaleytown Road, I believe it is. Anyway, since that time, and also at the time the commission voted on it before, there was no restriction or condition on the gift in terms of naming a park that would be developed there. Since that time, a letter came to light that had been given to former Mayor Barnett, where the church who's donating the land basically said that they wanted to donate, I believe it's, if I can find that file, I believe it's just over 2 acres. And it has been resurveyed since the original gift was going to be made. And there is access to it via 40-foot wide easement or right of way off of Whaleytown Road, so it does not have direct road frontage. And they want the park named specifically after a lady from that community. And I don't have the file in front of me. I cannot remember the lady's name, but maybe one of y'all have it. So those conditions kind of changed from the last time it was brought before the commission. So if approved, I'll have to get in contact with the trustees of the church and get specifics as to the deed reservations, because they've asked that it revert back to the church in the event it's not utilized as a park. So we have to clarify a little bit of those terms as far as the length of time we have to develop the park and just exactly what parameters they're considering a park. And then also the access to make sure that we're granted legal access for the public via the right of way.
Thank you, Attorney Harden. Sorry to put you on the spot like that, but I knew you would still do a much better job than I could have done. So the Building and Grounds Committee did vote to accept the gift when the survey is completed, giving us that right of way. We did discuss, as Attorney Harden pointed out, that they want it to be ours as long as it's a park. So he does need to clarify the length of time they're going to give us to do that. As Mayor Woodby has stated in the past, and Parks and Rec has stated, we are a little short-handed when it comes to working on our parks. So we've got to make sure that we've got enough time to get this accomplished before they would want it to revert back to them. So anyway, with that being said, I'll bring it to the commission as a motion from the Building and Grounds Committee to accept this gift with the new survey completion for Fish Springs Park.
Second, Chairman Hill. Acuff first.
Motion
Ms.
by
Hogan, Ms. Chairman, let me
Yes.
clarify, since I found my file, just for the record, the donation is from Union Baptist Church. That is the owners, Union Baptist Church in Hampton. The lot is 2.112 acres. They're asking that it be developed as a park for kids in the community, and they want it to be named in memory of Kathleen and Ralph Smith. So those are the conditions that the gift would have to be accepted on.
Everybody still good with that, Ginger and Dr. Acuff?
I am.
I am.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I have one question.
Yes, sir, Mr. Tester.
Commissioner Harden. Is there a defease clause in that deed where if it's not used as a park, that it goes back to the church?
That is the proposal. That is a condition that they have offered. The deed hasn't been prepared yet. Of course, I would prepare the deed if we vote to accept it, but they have requested a reverter clause in the deed, essentially, that if it is no longer used as a park, that the property would revert back to Union Baptist Church.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Chairman,
Yes, sir, Mr. Hill.
I've slept since we met, but I think I was a no then because of the strings attached to this donation. It seems to me that if the church wanted this many stipulations on the gift, if you will, which isn't really a gift if there's a string where you can jerk it back at some point in time in the future, but if they want it developed in the manner they want it developed and the use to be exactly what they prescribe and that it should be named as they want it named, it seems that they would probably take that on as a project, as an organization. And if they wanted the county's support, they could certainly come to the county as under an outside agency as a nonprofit, right along with several other nonprofits like the animal rescues and such, and ask for funding to assist in the development of the park. I can't support.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert A. Cuff.
Yes.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
No.
Julie Gwynn.
Yes.
Bradley Johnson.
Yes.
Mark Tester.
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon.
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
No.
Jerry Prophet.
Yes.
Austin James. Ross Garland.
No.
Layla Ward. Layla Ward.
No.
Ginger Holdren.
Yes.
Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Bailey.
No.
Travis Hill.
Yes.
Sonja Culler.
Yes.
Daniel McInturf.
Yes.
Aaron Frazier.
No.
Robin McCamey.
Yes.
Kelly Collins.
No.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to change my vote to no, please.
This is Sonia.
This is Sandra. Yes, ma'am.
Mm, 15 yeses, 8 noes.
Motion passed.
Okay, may I continue, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we also need to vote on another donation. Ken Googe was able to attend our Building and Grounds Committee meeting. We have been offered a section of the old Tweetsy Railroad right-of-way between Mill Pond Road in Valley Forge and Railroad Street in Hampton. Ken Googe and Mayor Woodby and others have walked that section and checked it out. The trail is in relatively good shape. The tunnel is also in excellent shape. The bridge crossing over the river is in terrible condition and needs lots of work. This would extend the Tweetsy Trail to Hampton. It would add 4.5 miles to the trail and give access to the watershed trails. Attorney Hardin did caution our committee that as soon as we take ownership of this, if we accept it, we are responsible for it. The bridge would have to have signs warning people that it's not safe for use. After a slideshow presentation, lots of pictures and discussion and questions and so forth. A motion was made in that committee to accept approximately 28 acres between Valley Forge and Hampton to extend our Tweetsie Trail 4.5 miles. In that committee that night, it passed unanimously. So I bring it to you in the form of a motion this evening to accept this gift to our county and extend our Tweetsie Trail.
Second.
Mike Hill, Isaiah Brown staff.
Motion by Ms. Holdren, second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
I can't tell who's first. Go ahead, Mr. Bailey.
Ms. Holdren, the bridge that you're talking about was blowed up years ago. There's only one little bitty section right there. I mean, who's going to be responsible if it's not
Gary,
even
which
3 foot wide?
Gary, I think you're wrong, Gary. I don't know if you're talking about the right bridge.
Yeah, the railroad bridge is gone. It's the highway bridge that's still there.
Yeah. So technically, guys, there's 2 highway bridges up there. One is on the other side of the 4-lane, and it's almost demolished. You'd have to be really, really brave to cross it. Really brave. The other one that we're talking about, it's got 2 sections out of it that's fell through, but there's room to walk around it. I've walked around it. I've took my son around it. You know, when he was 5 years old, we walked around it. Hasn't changed in years. It's been that way for quite some time. So
My question is, the bridge is still, if we take ownership of that and we got a bridge that's got holes in it falling through, are we responsible?
You better believe it.
it is. No, I would say nothing more than putting some signs up there. It's been there for how many years like that?
Unexcluded liability.
Chairman Hill,
Yes, sir, Mr. McIntyre.
that was my question for Attorney Harden. I think we should use the resource we have. If signs are posted, are we still liable if, heaven forbid, something does happen? You know, I understand it's donation, and I'm appreciative of that, but if we're going to be held accountable for an accident on that bridge, how can we keep that from happening? What do we need to go about to keep that from happening if the sign postage is not sufficient?
I don't think you're accepting the highway portion of it. You're accepting the right
It's
of way.
the bridge.
Your right of way to the tunnel, back to the railroad grade, across the 2 pillows that are still there. It's an excellent idea. It's an expensive idea because from the tunnel to the right of way to the west is going to be big bucks to build another a bicycle bridge or whatever. It's a great idea. It's just an expensive idea.
Attorney Harden.
Yes, sir.
Is the sign postage, is that sufficient to keep us from any liabilities?
Definitely not. Certainly the county could be liable, and the county would be sued, I'm sure, if someone got hurt out there, no matter what you did. But certainly, I think what we would be charged to do is act reasonably. And I think it would be more than just, nailing up a sign to a tree or something. I mean, we would have to put some physical barrier there that, that we were definitely discouraging access to the bridge. And it's one thing to own it and people just go there. It's another thing to advertise it and invite people there. And that was kind of the distinction we talked about in the meeting. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from accepting the gift. And the gift is no strings attached, no conditions. And it is 28 acres along the old Tweetsie railroad bed. There's several easements or utility easements in play there. I think the water department or Elizabethan Water and Watauga River Regional Water Authority has easements and things through there. You couldn't do a lot of, development. Obviously, it's more of a trail, and there's parts of it I understand. I haven't been on it personally, but there's parts of it I understand that are fine right now and walking trails, and it's clear and perfectly cleared and level, and I guess easy to maneuver on. And there's other parts, the parts that would be obviously concerning are the tunnel, which I understand people have walked through and rode through for years, but I don't know anything about the tunnel or the structural integrity of the tunnel. I know there's other tunnels through the same trail that have collapsed in on themselves, but this one apparently hasn't. So my only concern was that we had some professional who knew what they were doing to evaluate the integrity of the tunnel. And if it wasn't deemed safe, then it needs to be closed off. But if it's okay, fine. And the other thing was the bridge that didn't, from the pictures I saw, look safe to walk on, much less drive anything on. So definitely that would have to be barricaded off in a way that a reasonable person would say would stop someone from getting on that bridge. But no matter what you do, if someone falls and gets hurt on that trail, just like they would in any county-owned property, they're going to sue anybody they can to try to get some money, certainly.
Chairman.
Commissioner Hill, go ahead.
I brought this up in the meeting the other night. Tysinger Hampton and Associates did the engineering on the entirety of the proposed Tweetsie Trail from downtown Johnson City all the way to the North Carolina state line. That plan still exists somewhere. There should be copies on file over in planning and zoning. The remediation plan for the bridge consisted of some prefab panels that would carry bicycle traffic, and the tunnel engineering is on there. If I'm not mistaken, it called for another sort of prefab platform that would elevate people over the water lines, which are actually encased if you look at the photos and such, that would get the trail all the way to, in this case, Greenbridge Landing. There's no proposal to go through the gorge at this time, but it would be an incredible capture. I do believe it would be prudent to put up some fencing and to prevent access to the bridge portion until the remediation could be done. If anybody cared, I'm sure we could ask Planning Director Schutler about multimodal grants and that kind of thing. If there is a point of interest on one end of the linear trail, the linear park is what this would become, and some sort of ingress, egress, and parking at another location, then it qualifies for some grants that are out there that we don't typically seem to use.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Mr. Bailey.
I have no problem with us opening the trail up all the way to where it gets to that bridge, but I think even if we owned it, unlike them, it needs to stop there until we get an engineer or somebody to look at that, because it's a long ways down to that river.
Costs a lot of money, dude. I think you
So
should.
what do we gain for putting in?
Chairman Hill,
Yes, Mr. Von Cannon.
I think you ought to accept for this reason. Your mileage then would equate almost to the trail out of the trail in Abingdon that comes out at Damascus from
Virginia Creeper.
Okay, it almost equates to the mileage. And if you could extend it on across Greenbridge, but there again, you hit some private property before you get to the gorge property. The gorge property, probably they would go along with it. Then you go on through two tunnels that are operative. Then you go to the tunnel that's collapsed, and two more bridges. The Blevins Bridge is one. Talk to me about the railroad, because I have studied that for years, and I would accept it. But the real problem is over the dough at the tunnel at Valley Forge. People would be jumping off of that thing. You'd have to do it like they did to Johnson City across the interstate. And build a cage across the top of it till you couldn't jump off of it. It'd be a great thing, but it's going to cost money. Like we haven't seen money before. It probably cost more than the railroad did originally. But I can see a great deal of opportunity there. I don't see enough to invest any money in it, but it's intriguing. It's intriguing.
Chairman Hill.
Yes, Ms. Holder.
I'm poorly equipped to talk about it, as did Ken Googe. If Randall can remember and understands things better, I hope he'll speak. But that is one of the things that Ken Googe pointed out, is that with that additional mileage, our Tweetsie Trail is a national attractor for cyclists. It's not just a local pleasurable thing anymore, but we're sponsoring the Optium now. We've got the mountain bike trails in Johnson City. This would add to Carter County, and we become a little hub for cyclists if we have this. And so anyway, I'll stop talking and see if Randall has anything he wants to add.
Well, I support everything that you just said and so much more. Adding this to the Tweetsie Trail extension part of it, I mean, I can't even think of the possibilities. It's endless to see how many people use the trail down in town, and that's just in the middle of town. To put the scenic part of it, and if you haven't walked up there and looked at this, you need to. It's in my backyard, not literally in my backyard. It's where I learned how to fish. There's a lot of childhood memories up through there, but that's a lot of people around here, and that could be a lot of future Carter Countyans too. You got to think about that. And to make this part of the trail, it would probably be the prettiest part of the trail. And there's been talks about the bridge. Mike, you might remember, we've talked about it before, about making a pedestrian bridge. It does get expensive, but we've looked at other opportunities or other avenues to go. I cannot see passing this opportunity up. I'm probably a little biased. I'm a lot biased towards it, but I'll try to answer any questions that anybody's got.
Chairman Hill.
Yes, go ahead, Director Shoot.
If it's all right, Randall, can I mention some stuff from Park and Rec?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Okay.
I went to that last Park and Rec meeting when that was announced. Myself and Mayor Woodby were there. At that time, I decided to go ahead and check on some information. And really, a pedestrian bridge aren't as expensive, especially that type of pedestrian bridge, as such as the one that we have in Gap Creek that'll be in place here in the next few weeks. So there is some definite changes, and there's actually, I spoke with a gentleman in Pennsylvania that's doing some of these new pedestrian bridges, and we talked about actually sloping that bridge so that we can reach the tunnel. There's quite a bit of elevation difference, and I have to get up there. I hadn't had a chance to go up and survey it and shoot it and see what the elevation change is, but there's a possibility that we can actually reach out and continue the trail and still keep it ADA compliance. We won't have the 3% grade as a rail to trail would have. And then what Commissioner Hill, 2nd District, iterated to was the other grants that's out there. There's a lot of rails to trail grants. There's a lot of multimodals that can be utilized. It's something that myself and Commissioner Jenkins looked at probably 6 years ago, Randall, maybe longer or somewhere in there. So doable situation. And yeah, as Commissioner Bailey mentioned, it definitely needs something there temporarily until we can figure out what we're going to do on a bridge and work that out to make it safer. But I think it's a great opportunity, and I hope y'all go forward with it. I don't know what my status will be much longer as far as dealing with Park and Rec, but I think it would be a good idea to go ahead and accept it. And if we have to block it off or at least make it a bearable type, as Attorney Harden says, I think it's a good deal.
Chairman Hill?
Yes, Mr. Frazier.
It's, one other thing, just for a point of clarification, that bridge, I'd heard the number of 152 feet. Is that a relatively close to what the distance is?
Are you talking about across it or?
Yeah, across it.
Yeah.
That would make it one of the longest pedestrian footbridges in the country.
No, I don't think.
That's an attraction by itself.
I don't know. Chris, do you think it's that long?
I'm sorry. I'm having a little problem with my speaker here. What was the question, sir?
I was saying, do you think that bridge is 150 feet long? I don't think it's quite that long.
The longest pedestrian bridge that this company that makes the total bike hike bridges that I'm discussing with, they just put one in that was 100, and Miss Patty, I sent it to you and Ken Googe. I think it was 164 feet supported end to end, and that's all. And that was placed, I can't remember exactly where it was placed, but that's been in place for about 6 months now, and it's working fine. So like I said, Randall, I'll have to go over there and shoot it and shoot the elevation and shoot the distance and see what we've got to a workable, pliable surface there. And but right now I've been kind of swamped, so I haven't been able to take care of it. A lot of people are buying these $7 2x4s and building great big houses. So we've been got a lot of land planning doing. So I'll try to get to it. I can't promise you this week, but before the next meeting, I'll have you some information if that's fine with the board.
Mr. Chairman,
just as an estimation, you think it's about 100, 150 feet?
I would venture to say it's probably right at about 140 feet. My best guess from the last time I was down there, and I'm usually pretty close. So I'll shoot it. Is that Mr. Frazier speaking?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'll shoot that thing and see where we stand. Okay.
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Gary, I think Commissioner Hill had his hand up a second ago, and I'll get you.
Yes, sir. Forward looking, the moment we get this trail eventually to the North Carolina state line, we do have counterparts on the other side of the state line that are very interested in carrying this forward. They've expressed that sort of thing. Mr. Schutler's prototype or counterpart over in Avery County had expressed some specific plans as to how it might be routed. If you look a little further ahead, and it possibly could get all the way across Avery, Watauga, and Ash, you could backdoor connect to the Virginia Creeper Trail that Mr. Von Cannon was referring to a little while ago, and then you really have something that's regional in nature, opens you up to all sorts of possibilities for buckets of funding and that sort of thing. And I'll yield back and shut up now.
And as Mr. Hill was speaking, I apologize. Mr. Chairman, may I speak?
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Yeah, as Commissioner Hill from 2nd District was speaking of, we've met with them multiple times, and it actually would probably go from a Tweetsie Trail to a Over Mountain Victory Trail. Tweetsie Trail would be more of the bicyclist, and then the Over Mountain would split off up there. So it's a win-win any way we go. And also, we've been in contact all the way back to when Mr. Hughes, Bob Hughes, was the chairman of the Planning Commission with the town of Damascus and working with the state of Virginia. Of course, some of those guys aren't in the elected positions anymore, and some of them passed away, but actually working the Iron Mountain Trail where it comes off of the Appalachian Trail that goes on in and would attach to the Creeper Trail. I can't think of the other mountain trail off the Creeper Trail. So we've worked on all that. We have a lot of information on that. So, I mean, even if we can't cross the bridge right now, I think it's a good idea to take it and let's move forward.
Mr. Bailey?
I was actually going to ask Ms. Holden if she'd take an amendment to that, that basically we would take it to the bridge and join it with the one we had and stop there until we get some quotes on what it cost us to fix the bridge or to get one across or whatever it is. But basically, an amendment to the motion to we stop at the bridge and fix it from there down. Then we come back and look at what it costs till we get, Chris gets a chance to survey it, a height, we can get a quote, what it's going to cost us and what we look at. That way it's not our responsibility instantly tonight, but it still lets us go on and take that other portion and go with it.
Mr. Chairman, can I speak one more?
Yes, Director Shute.
Yeah, aggravation. I apologize, y'all. But actually, Gary Tysinger of Tysinger Hampton Partners is now actually retired. He is a licensed civil engineer, and he is also a railroad engineer, construction engineer. And I've got him on speed dial, so we can move forward with that. We can block it off, take the stuff, block off what we have to until we can get his report. And I'm sure he'd be more than happy to assist us in that. Because right now he's actually working on our other project with Doe River Gorge. And I don't think I think I can mention that. I think Mr. Von Cannon knows we're getting ready to have a Christmas train there, quite a large, long run. So Gary's actually working on that, and I can get him to work on I'll beg, bum, and bar him and trade some radios or something with him and get him to go and look at it with us and see where we go. But I don't think blocking it off will be that big a deal.
Go for it. Take it off.
Thank you all.
Chairman Hill?
Yes, Mr. Tester.
There it is.
My question's for probably Mr. Harden. Mr. Harden, do you know whether that, from I understand, that was part of the Tweetsie Railroad? Do you know whether that easement through there has been put in the Federal Railroad Bank or not?
My understanding, Commissioner Tester, this company, Management Properties, Inc., they own this 27.12 acres essentially in fee. I mean, they are the fee simple owners. To my knowledge, the railroad right of way isn't in play through there anymore, is my understanding. This company has owned it outright and paid taxes on it, I believe, since 1995 or thereabouts. So I don't know if I can exactly answer your question, but I don't think that the railroad right of way is in play anymore.
Mr. Chairman, could I jump in that again, please?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And Mr. Tester, what happened on that was the oil company, and I can't remember if it was United or Simcoe or whatever it was, actually bought all those properties, and the railroad in that area went back to the actual physical owners of the property, real property. So you're not just getting the railroad right of way, you're getting the entire property that they own in a fee simple form.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. That was my question, because I knew that the rest of that railroad through there was turned over to Railroad Bank, and they actually did not have the right to do that. So
exactly.
That's right.
East Tennessee and Western North Carolina Railroad had an agreement through, and it was in the 1800s, that if they abandoned that railroad, multiple portions of that railroad did not meet that criteria, but that definitely through that area did meet the criteria. If it didn't go to the county or the governing body, then it went back to the adjoining landowners. So that's how that ended up in that piece of property, sir.
Thank you, Chris. That's
You're
what
welcome.
thank you.
Mr. Johnson. Go ahead.
I call for the motion.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take the vote. Motion by Ms. Holder and second by Mr. Hill. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell,
No.
Mark Blevins. Mark Blevins.
No.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Yes.
Julie Gwynn,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Absolutely.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Absolutely.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James, Ross Garland,
Yes.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes, no, I add Austin's that. Yes, no, I'm kidding. I'm joking on that. It's not it.
Jerry Bailey,
Yeah.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonja Color,
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
Thomas Prophet,
Yes.
21 ayes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Chairman Hill,
Chairman
before we
Hill.
move
Yes.
on, can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I don't know what the process is, but we need to make sure that we get that blocked off. I don't know if that was added or not. I didn't hear, but we need to make sure that bridge is completely barricaded and tunnel until we get this process done, like Attorney Harden said.
That was going to be my question, Daniel. Chris, is this something you will do, or who's going to be responsible for making sure the bridge is blocked off at both ends?
No.
I'm sorry, my mouse ain't working right. Anyways, if it gets donated, I can work with the Park and Rec and make something happen.
I can contact the Parks and Rec. I mean, I'd be happy to work with Chris on it, and I can contact Ken tonight, and we can start action
Okay.
ASAP.
I didn't know if it was something I needed to do. Randall, just keep me in the loop if you need me to help do anything.
Yeah,
Absolutely, will do.
Yeah. The thing about it is, and Attorney Harden didn't want to say this, but no matter what you do as a county, they could sue you over a bologna sandwich if they dropped it in the trail. So just be ready for some idiot like that. But the key is to make it where a serviceable individual with a serviceable brain would know that it is dangerous. And Mr. McInturf, I'll make sure it's took care of, sir.
I don't agree with somebody saying it's a bologna sandwich and somebody gets killed there. Josh, are you still on there?
Yes, sir.
As we voted here tonight and we accepted that, right now we become sole owners of that property?
No, sir. There'll have to be a deed prepared, and it has to be actually signed by the authorized representative of this company. I imagine the president of the company. I had some email contact with the gentleman who was talking with Mr. Googe about it, but I'm not sure, as we sit here right now, if they're going to prepare the deed. Obviously, if they're donating it, they'll probably want us to, so I'll prepare the deed. But until that is actually signed and recorded in the Register of Deeds office, we don't take possession until the end. So I would suggest that some coordination happen there with Mr. Schutler and maybe Mr. Googe, the Park and Rec folks, to have the means lined up to get that accomplished before the actual transfer happens.
That's what I was getting at, because if somebody gets killed there, we've had it. Always remember that.
Is there a way we can cut that bridge out of there where we're not responsible?
The offer was all, I believe, all or nothing. I don't think they were going to just donate part of it. So it's all one donation of the entire thing.
They don't want the responsibility either, do they?
Jesus, guys, it's been there that way for 20 plus years. Let's let the
20, 40.
I mean, I'm in the condition it's in right now. It's been that way for 20 plus years. Let's just move on, let the committees do their work, and then we'll come back to the full floor and talk about it instead of wasting time tonight.
Chairman Hill, I have one more thing to say about building and grounds, and then that part will be finished for the evening. I just want to thank the commission for their due diligence. Their concerns are well placed and strongly noted. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And then we'll move on to the last thing will just be a mention. There's nothing to vote on here, but we are still in contract negotiations, or lease negotiations, I should call it, with Northeast State. They first proposed $10,000 a year. Mayor Woodby went back to them with some questions from us. They came back again proposing $86,000 per year lease for 5 years. They're calling that their break-even point. They have to pay no more than that in order to sustain their efforts. We asked them some very specific questions, though, through Mayor Woodby, and they did not answer them. So Building and Grounds Committee asked Dr. Bullock to please go back and come to us again next month with those questions answered. So just know that we're in talks with her, and we value your input as a commission. Anything you all have to say regarding that issue, we would appreciate that we could bring up to her when we see her next month.
Thank you.
That's it, sir. Thank you.
All righty, let's move on to rules and bylaws. It's Chairman Jenkins, I believe.
Let the minutes reflect, please.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Brad
Mr.
Johnson. Don't you know what? That's the longest I've ever heard Granville talk in the past 5 years. I think he should go live Zoom. I'd like to see what he looks like.
All right, let's move on to law enforcement and beer board with Chairman Hill.
Law enforcement had no agenda. There was nothing brought forward to us to bring to the commission or vice versa. Beer board will most likely be meeting later next month, probably third Thursday for beer board members. There is a permit application that's been picked up, but it has not been returned at this time that I know of. So get ready. We got to go and look at one.
Thank you very much. Planning with Director Schutler.
Yes, sir. We'll have the next planning commission will be May 25th, and we'll move forward with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Animal shelter, Dr. Acuff.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a couple of things regarding the shelter. Councilman Kim Birchfield stepped down in representing the city. The council has appointed Mayor Kurt Alexander to take his place. Kurt joined us this last animal shelter meeting, so he'll be part of the representation for the city council going forward. We are in the process of developing a job description for the animal shelter director. We've never had a job description for the director. That has always been sidestepped. But Mike Simmerly and I have taken that task, and we just finished the draft today. It will be sent back out, and we'll consider it at the next month's animal shelter board meeting. Mayor Woodby and Mayor Alexander, along with City Manager Estes and Chairman Hill, will receive letters probably by the end of this week requesting that we invite MTAS and CTAS to come to Carter County Elizabethton to evaluate the animal shelter for a 501c3 status, much like what they did for Sullivan County Kingsport prior to making that move by that entity. So hopefully we can have that in the process before we proceed. There are a whole bunch of unanswered questions. I know that Attorney Harden was concerned about how county employees could be part of a 501c3 and still be paid by the county. That's just one example of a conundrum that we want answered. So we felt we would turn to the experts and ask them to come and give us an evaluation. The other thing that was unanimously passed by the Animal Shelter Board is just to ask both council and commission, if you need statistics or have concerns or other issues about the animal shelter, we would ask that you forward them to the Animal Shelter Board first, and we will provide you all those answers going forward. We've instructed Shannon to make sure that in the minutes you always have numbers of the census for animals down there, how much spay and neutering we are doing, how many animals are adopted, along with things like the feral cat program, which has been very, very successful. I just talked to some folks over the weekend who adopted feral cats from the shelter so they could use them as barn cats. So there's a lot of folks that are taking advantage of that program, and Shannon and her staff are to be congratulated for what they're doing down there. I think that's all, unless there are questions from me, Chairman Hill. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions about the animal shelter?
Chairman Hill.
Yes, Mayor Woodby.
Well, this is, I just wanted to jump back at Randall and remind him that his committee did vote on the July 4th holiday that he probably needs to bring through full commission.
Yes.
Sorry, Mayor.
That's all right. I just wanted to remind you. It's a calendar change.
So I'll step back in here in just a second and do that. Travis, just come back to me.
I will. I'll get you on Park and Rec if that's all right.
All right.
All right. Ginger or Miss Holden, go ahead.
I just wanted to thank the Animal Shelter Board for the work that they're doing, the questions that they're bringing, for the directive to Director Posada to provide us with census numbers. I think that's a great step, and I appreciate it very much. I just want to clarify the reason for bringing in CTAS and MTAS, though, because Financial Management Committee looked at that possibility, but when we found out that Sullivan County didn't really go with their recommendation, that was one reason we didn't bring them in. And the second reason was that whichever gentleman I spoke with said that it would take many, many months for them to do a study. So are you asking them to study whether or not a nonprofit is feasible, or more like how to go about doing that?
Well, I think it's both. In terms of a nonprofit, they evaluate, as they did for Sullivan County and Kingsport, the ability to support a nonprofit entity in those counties and that city. So I think that's good for us to know. The other things that make it an opportunity to ask MTAS, CTAS, not only the question that Josh Harden had in terms of what we do with making county employees part of a 501c3, how does that work? Number two, what about their benefits, leave, longevity with the county? How does that work? What about if it is a 501c3 and it assumes that position? Does the city give the land to the 501c3 and the county give the building, or do they maintain their rights? So I think there are a number of questions that haven't been answered just because we approved, and as City Manager Esty said, just before the County Commission approved that they wanted to move for a 501c3, it doesn't happen overnight. There are a whole host of questions that need to be answered. And I have not talked with Hardy or Hall about this, but I would hope that with Mayor Woodby's help and Mayor Alexander's help, that they could be forthright in asking MTAS and CTAS to do due diligence as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? Hearing none, let's move on to agriculture with Chairman Tester.
We'll let the minutes reflect the meeting. Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and jump to Park and Rec and let Randall finish up with rules and bylaws. You there, Randall? All right, we'll come back to Randall. Let's get Main Street and Industrial Development with Chairman Frazier.
Main Street, nothing new really to report right now. They're mainly focusing on a facade grant that I think they're working on, and some of the downtown activities coming up this summer, and a few other things. Main thing is the First Friday events. Those are always huge and do a lot to help out the local downtown businesses, as well as I've not seen the car show the past couple of weeks, but hopefully they'll get it fired back up here relatively soon as well.
Okay. Randall, are you ready yet?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, I was on mute the whole time.
Sorry.
So rules and bylaws of the committee voted. The original holiday list that we had had the 4th of July holiday for the courthouse to be closed on the 2nd. We voted to move that to the 5th, so I put that in form of a motion.
I'll second it. Mark.
Motion by Mr. Jenkins, second by Mr. Tester to move the July 4th holiday from the 2nd to the 5th. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell. Mark Blevins.
Yes.
Robert Acuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
Yes.
Julie Gwynn.
Yes.
Bradley Johnson.
Yes.
Mark Tester.
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon.
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Yes.
Jerry Prophet.
Yes.
Austin James. Ross Garland.
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
Ginger Holden.
Yes.
Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Yes.
Sandra Culler.
Yes.
Daniel McIntyre.
Yes.
Aaron Frazier.
Yes.
Robin McCamey.
Yes.
Kelly Collins.
Yes.
Thomas Prophet.
Yes.
All ayes.
All right, motion passed. Thank you.
And as far as Parks and Rec, guys, I'll just take a moment and say thank you. And no matter how angry or upset I sounded, I really do appreciate you guys. And Parks and Rec will always do its due diligence before, we take on a big project. We discussed it. It went to Building and Grounds. We will do our due diligence. We'll take care. We always put the county first. And anytime the county takes ownership of a property, there is liability anytime we take any ownership of any property. So I do appreciate you guys, and hopefully I'll have more answers for you very soon.
Thank you. Let's move on to the Chamber of Commerce and Keep Carter County Beautiful with Commissioner Garland.
All righty. Just want to thank everybody for allowing the chamber to come on and hear what they're into. They're really working hard. We really hit the gold mine with hiring Joy on. She's really reintroduced some stuff. Membership's gone sky high. Picked up some people, so they're really doing good and they're helping us out. And Luke's working hard. Seth in there too. They're all doing good. But I'll let their presentation just kind of reflect what they're doing. But tune into the legislative breakfast, and I think she's asking if you want to get involved in that or be part of that. Just go ahead and let her know as soon as possible as far as tickets go, because it is limited capacity. Keep Carter County Beautiful. This is a busy time of year for us. Lots happened. Since the last commission meeting, we've cleaned up Milligan Highway. We planted 33 trees on the Twitsy Trail. Great group effort, community effort, City of Elizabeth and Carter County, Keep Carter County Beautiful. Mayor Woodby was there. Ginger was there. As always, let's see, it turned out to be a great event, Travis was there too. Don't let me forget him, right in the middle of a hailstorm. And that was some experience, but we battled through the mud and got them finished up. So it turned out great. They're already blooming out. So if you're going down the Twitsy Trail behind Grindstaff or in front of Sycamore Springs, in Hoplin's office, you'll see the new plantings there. Great acquisition. They've come along good. Ed, actually, we had the executive director, Keep Tennessee Beautiful, was here this past Friday to recognize Ed for his achievement, the Love Where You Live Award, which is a statewide award given to one person. We were lucky enough, our group and Ed, to receive that. That's normally done in Nashville. That's presented by the governor. So it was a big deal with COVID restrictions and all that. We were limited to Black Olive on Friday, attended by many delegates. Ginger, Mayor Woodby was there, of course. Benny was there, Captain Smith, a lot of city delegates as well. Chamber of Commerce represented. It was fantastic. The following day, Saturday, Trashercise on the Twitsy Trail. Fantastic event, had 40 plus people turn out for that. And it was, streamed throughout the state again, Facebook, social media, and promoted that way too. And it was really great because it brought a whole bunch of people together. There were kids that were 3, 4, 5 years old carrying signs for us, a diverse group. Also had the apes there that they went to the part of where the quarry's at above Happy Valley Elementary, and their group took kayaks up there and cleaned it out. So a lot of good things have been going on, and a lot of good things coming up as well. I know we're going to plant some, I think put some seeds down in a few locations up closer towards town. And then we're coming up to Ripshy, and there's been a legal dump site up there. It's been noticed. Going to be a team effort with Forest Service and several other entities to help clean that up. That's later. That's into May, June, or something like that. So it's, you know how hard that group works and how hard Ed's drive. So thankful for Ed and that whole bunch. So that pretty much sums it up for that group. And thank you to everybody that's been a part of it just in this past month.
Thank you, Commissioner Garland. Last but not least is City Council update. So Dr. Acuff or Commissioner Tester, any update for City Council?
Chairman, I'll let Mr. Tester also comment, but we're kind of late to the meeting, and the fact that we didn't get an agenda or a Zoom link. I should have probably texted the city manager's office when I saw that it wasn't present. So we both kind of missed that meeting.
Okay. Okay, no worries. We'll get, I think they're from here on out, I think they're in person. So we'll get you all taken care of.
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. So that does it for committee reports, if I didn't miss anybody. So we'll move on to county attorney report.
All right, yeah, I think I'm unmuted now. As far as litigation goes this month, the lawsuit that was brought by Mr. McGee, Jim McGee, versus the county out on Ridgecrest Drive, or the right-of-way issue, that lawsuit has been dismissed by Chancellor Rambo. We're still within the appeal period, but as we stand right now, that case was dismissed and no liability on the part of the county. As far as litter violation cases, the court was a little backed up with the COVID restrictions and the in-person hearings, but we're back on track with those now. We had 10 litter violation cases heard the other day on the 8th of this month, and 10 judgments in our favor in all cases. There are 6 others that are in the process of service and everything before those hearings are set. And I drafted 3 new litter complaints just last week, and those will be filed shortly. As far as the opioid litigation, many of y'all may be aware, over in Sullivan County, Chancellor Moody actually granted a default judgment in favor of the plaintiffs, which is us and all the other cities and counties in the first 3 judicial districts in Tennessee. A couple of weeks ago or last week, that default judgment was granted, essentially just ruling that the pharmaceutical companies were liable. And now the only issue that remains is for how much money, and that's going to be a jury trial. And I believe it's set for July. Of course, there may be some appeals or various tactics that may lengthen that some more. It's already been going on a few years, but we're talking about multi-millions of dollars at stake. So I'm sure everything will be tried that can be tried. But as far as we stand right now, everything is positive. There were a couple of new lawsuits filed against the county this past month. One from an inmate, former inmate, Mr. Lanny Markland, who alleged excessive force was used against him. That's in the very early stages in district court in Greenville. Second lawsuit was basically a statewide class action suit against every county in Tennessee for a procedural issue on DUI arrests. And both of those new cases, the county insurance carrier is providing representation. So those are both in the very early stages. Other than that, my general monthly work will be detailed in my report that'll be filed with the clerk.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Attorney Harden? Hearing none, we'll move on to Commissioner comments.
Chairman Hill,
Yes, Mr. Frazier.
I would like your indulgence that we, and put forth a motion that we empower the county mayor to negotiate on behalf of the county commission and the county with the Joint Economic and Community Development Board to structure or begin the structuring of and budgeting for a economic and community development director and potentially subordinates.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Frazier,
Second.
second by Mr. Kim. Any discussion?
Is that all the details we're gonna get? Just a motion? We don't know anything about structure, salaries, whatever. We could stay all night on that one.
Correct, but
I'd suggest you come back with a plan.
that's what this is to set up, Charlie, is to work with the Joint Economic Community Development Board where the city sits at to get the plan started and see how they want to proceed or if they even want to proceed.
Let me ask this question. I saw that net rep was not in on the budget request. Does anybody know why?
They're closing.
What?
They're closing as far as I know.
I think they actually requested some money.
Well, they just, we're not appropriating anything to this year. Is that it?
We were not to that yet.
They just announced 200 jobs. Ride with who provides jobs.
I
Or
thought they had to do it for them so they could brag about it.
ride with who provides jobs. And if you can't drive 30 miles, 246 people used to drive from here to Eastman. And it's a lot shorter to Telford. You're going to get some of those jobs if you apply.
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
I just, they can speak about net rep all they want to, but we have to date have spent $320,000 in our budget to them. Now, commissioners, tell me what you got in return. They didn't find no job. Somebody else found it. They're on the caboose. That at the end of the train. They always ride. They're worthless.
Any more discussion on Commissioner Frazier's motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Willie Campbell. Mark Blevins.
Yes.
Robert A. Cuff.
No.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
No specific information. It's a no from me.
Julie Gwynn.
No.
Brad Johnson.
No.
Mark Tester.
No.
Charles Von Cannon.
No.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Yes.
Jerry Prophet.
No.
Austin James. Ross Garland.
Yes.
Layla Ward.
No.
Ginger Holdren.
Yes.
Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Bailey.
No.
Travis Hill.
Yes.
Sonia Culler.
No.
Daniel McIntyre.
Yes.
Aaron Frazier.
Yes.
Robin McCamey.
Yes.
Kelly Collins.
No.
Thomas Prophet.
No.
Ten yeses, 13 noes.
Motion failed.
I'm not doing anything else trying to get economic development in this county. You're on your own.
Chairman Hill, may I speak?
Yes, Ms. Gwynn.
My no came from not the idea of getting economic development, But if you go through any place in Carter County right now, what do you see on their signs and in their windows? Can anybody tell me that?
Now hiring.
Now hiring, help wanted signs. How many people are going to come here and start up a business when they cannot field help? My business has this problem. Every place that I know has this problem. I am absolutely not knocking economic development because I think there's room for that. But I think our bigger pandemic is the fact that everybody's lazy and nobody wants to work because the jobs are out there. High paying jobs, low paying jobs, mid jobs. Nobody wants to work.
Good luck
That is
figuring
my
it out,
biggest,
you guys.
that's my biggest concern with that. And I just wanted to put that out there.
Any other commissioner comments?
I would like to say that, I mean, I don't know if you was saying that's just for Elizabeth, but it's happening everywhere. Kingsport, Johnson City, it's everywhere. And, until we stop getting free money, we don't get nobody to work. So.
Exactly. And the problem is, I don't want to jump into spending the kind of money we're going to have to spend for a director in this full program and then it not get us anywhere. If we're going to do it, at least put a cap on it. I mean, if we don't get anything back in maybe 2 years, then, maybe reevaluate it.
2 years doesn't even scratch the surface. It's generally 5 to 10 years before you start seeing a return.
That's a big gamble with the taxpayer money when you can't find help to fill the business.
It's not about finding help to fill the businesses. You've got tourism that's got to be covered and recreational development, not only, and as well as economic development, BR&Es, business retention and expansion, keeping businesses from leaving, entrepreneurship classes in the high schools, small business incubator. That's all stuff that's got to be taken care of.
Well, see, none of that was presented when we talked about it and they gave us that outline. I think more information would most certainly be helpful to make
I've already
it.
presented it, thank you.
Well, maybe it was before I came on board. I'm not sure.
Anyone else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Everybody have a great evening. Thank you all.
Good job, Rose.
Fraser.